Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rick Phillips, and we are live from John Wayne Richards Memorial Field in Hillsboro, Ohio. This is Hurricane football on a Friday night. Welcome to Hurricane football. As tonight, the Hurricane varsity football team visits Hillsboro High School right here in Hillsboro, Ohio for Friday night football. Hurricanes football on WALHradio.com is brought to you by Bill Marine Ford Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep. 1182 West Main, Wilmington, Ohio, by Wilmington Savings Bank, 184 North South Street, Wilmington, Ohio, and by Bogart's Barbecue, 975 South South Street in Wilmington, Ohio. Tonight's game will be starting momentarily. We've got about 8 minutes and 52 seconds before the kickoff. I'm going to turn it over to our broadcast crew. AJ, take it away.
Thank you, Rick. And we are live here at Richards Memorial Field in Hillsboro, Ohio for tonight's matchup between the Wilmington Hurricane and the Hillsboro Indians. I'm here tonight with my best friend, Ethan Rudd. Ethan, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. It's a good night for football.
So, you ready for another Friday night of football?
I am. Yep. It's a good setting. I had a great drive down here. Fall is sneaking up upon us, and football is in full swing.
It is, and I mean, it was a little chilly last week in Vandalia, and tonight it's like in the mid-70s for this ball game. It's kind of hot. I mean, it's almost like a midsummer game tonight.
Yeah, it's a really pleasant day to come out here and play some football.
We got the Hillsboro band playing on the field right now. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's matchup, Hillsboro's 2-1 on the year. They lost, their only loss of the year was to Western Brown back in week 1. They lost to Western Brown 42-6. I don't know about you, but that's kind of a butt whooping when it came to that game.
Yeah, it was.
And
really, in those first two games, Wilmington scored a lot of points, and they did that because they asserted their physicality. Up on the front seven on defense and on their offense, they ran the ball a lot. And that's not to say they're just going to run the ball. They are a very balanced team. Matt Credit, their quarterback, can pass the ball.
I mean, last week, Matt Credit, he tore up Vandalia's defense. He was 18 of 30 for 209 yards. He only threw one touchdown pass all game, but the other touchdowns came on the ground. He ran the ball 16 times for 95 yards. And the other two backs we saw in the West Carrollton game, Garrett Scott and Jerry Johns, only combined for 92 yards apiece.
Yeah, listening to you guys at Generations Pizza, it sounded like Wilmington finally ran into a team that was able to equal their level of physicality up front. They played the I formation. They played sort of a pro set, and they came out and they were able to slow down Wilmington's run game. But Matt Credit, he can throw the ball. He can also run the ball. That makes it so hard defending him.
And with this pistol offense, they're no huddle the entire game, and they're wearing out defenses left and right. And Wilmington's defense last week was pretty worn down by the end of that game against Vandalia. Well, at this moment, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take this time and listen into the national anthem played by the Hillsboro High School Band. Again, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Hillsboro High School Band performing our Star Spangled Banners. They got it looks like the Boy Scouts down there putting up the flag there on the north end of the stadium. Well, Ethan, tonight it's Wilmington and Hillsboro. Wilmington's 3-0 on the year, and Hillsboro's 2-1. Like we said, their only loss was to Western Brown. Give me some keys to the game for Wilmington. What does Wilmington have to do to come out victorious tonight?
I want Wilmington to come out fast, and I want them to come out hard. They need to assert their physicality. Their front seven needs to be really active against the Indians tonight, and their front big hog mollies on offense are really going to have to open up rooms for these two backs to run the ball on the Indians, because really we've seen when Wilmington runs the ball, that has set up the pass so well, and this is a team that lives off of the big play action, throwing it deep down the field, just causing chaos for the defense because they keep them so off balance. The keys for Hillsboro, they're going to have to win the one-on-one matchups. It's plain and simple. Because we saw West Carrollton, they chose to keep 3 linebackers out, even though Wilmington went 3 and 4 wide, because they were so afraid of Wilmington running the ball on them. So that means your safeties are going to have to come down and get on those receivers. And that's one of the hardest things to do in high school at any level, is to win the one-on-one matchups. They're not going to have any help deep if they're going to choose to do that.
And I mean, last week we were talking about Wilmington's defense was getting worn down the entire game. Vandalia Butler controlled that line of scrimmage the entire game. They pounded the ball up the middle. Yeah, it was 18-8 when it came to halftime. Wilmington was up by 10, but still in that second half, Vandalia outscored Wilmington 20-14. Wilmington still came out with the win in that game.
Yeah, the Indians are going to have to control the ball. They're going to have to limit turnovers. They're going to have to play smart because they're facing a really disciplined, well-coached team. One of the things for Hillsboro also on defense is they're going to need to contain Matt Credit. That means getting pressure on him, but not only getting pressure on him because Matt Credit can escape the pocket, pushing all forward. The defensive ends are going to have to contain him, and the 2 defensive tackles, if they're playing a 4-3, a 4-man front, they're going to have to push up that middle gap, and they're going to have to contain Matt Credit.
And I don't know if you can contain Matt Credit. We've seen him get out of the pocket so often this season and hurt people not only with his arm, but with his feet there in the end.
And we've seen him make good decisions. We haven't seen him make really costly turnovers yet. He has a lot of confidence. He's not afraid to throw a vertical route down the field, and he's not afraid to use his legs.
And I mean, for a junior in high school, this kid makes decisions like he's a junior in college. He waits back in the pocket patiently, waiting for his receivers to get open. He doesn't just rush plays. He makes good passes, on third and long and second short, game. And he can run the ball. I mean, we've seen him take off down the sideline. We thought he's gotten tackled, and all of a sudden he breaks out for another 20 yards before being brought down by the defense. So this kid can play football.
Yeah, I think Matt Credit and his running backs, Garrett Scott and Jerry Johns, are really in a system that fits them well. They run a pistol offense, and that's a great compromise for Wilmington. I'm going to tell you why. In the pistol, the quarterback is aligned tighter to the line of scrimmage as opposed to the shotgun. The pistol is a compromise. It's a mix of the pistol and single back. So the quarterback's aligned tighter to the line of scrimmage than he would be in the gun, and his running back is lined up directly behind him. The thing about the pistol is that you can either run or pass out of it because you have your running back lined up directly behind you. You can run an option out of that. You can line up a fullback back there, give him an extra blocker. But also, since the quarterback isn't under center, he can choose to run with the ball, or he can choose to easily read the defense and make a quick decision because his feet are already set.
Yep. Well, tonight's team captains for both teams, we got number 7, Garrett Scott for Wilmington, Chris McEvoy, number 38. We got Michael Zitney and number 54, and Xavier Jones, number 57 for Wilmington. For Hillsboro, we got number 6, Jordan Mosley, number 12, Logan Leslie, number 63, Skylar Murphy, and number 70, Ethan Risley. We got a good crowd here tonight is what it sounds like, Ethan.
Yeah, it's a loud crowd. It's a good atmosphere. Yeah, they brought their cowbells.
Yes, they do. They do rock the cowbells. Well, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is the first SCOL matchup for both Hillsboro and Wilmington. This is Wilmington's first year back in the SCOL, and everyone's going to look forward to that game here in a few weeks against Clint Massey. But tonight, they have to get through Hillsboro first.
Yeah, Wilmington really has to focus on one game at a time if they want to keep their unbeaten streak alive. They have a lot of momentum. They've started out fast. They need to keep disciplined, and they need to keep winning.
And Ethan, do you have a score prediction for me at the end of this game?
Wilmington has gotten off to a fast start, and I think they notched their first conference win in today's game. I think they're going to be the more physical team coming out, and they play so disciplined. So I'm favoring Wilmington right now. I'm going to say they win by 2 or 3 scores.
2 or 3 scores. I'm going to say Wilmington's going to win by 10 points. That's my prediction. I don't know why it's my prediction, but we saw Ben Constant kick a 42-yard field goal last week, so I'm going to put that 3 points on Ben Constant's back for this game.
Weren't you at the Hollywood Casino earlier today?
Me at the Hollywood Casino earlier
Did you place
today?
a bet or what?
I might have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could have been like Lee Corso, touchdown, field goal. I could have went to Ethan and been not so fast, my friend, but I chose not to. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready for a kickoff here. Kicking off for Hillsboro, number 10, R.J. Collard. And back deep to return, number 25, Dylan Bogart. And it looks like I can't see. There's another person back deep. And we are underway here in Hillsboro. It's a squib kick. One of the up men is going to fumble it around a little bit. He picks it up. He's across the 35 and tackled down at the 40-yard line. Number 54, Michael Zitney on the return. And that's where Wilmington will take over, first down and 10.
And they're going left from right to left as we're looking at the field from the press box.
Wilmington will be going towards the south goal this evening in the first quarter, the north goal in the second and fourth quarters. And out comes Hillsboro's defense. We get our first look at Wilmington's offense. We'll see if they can start hot and heavy as they start first down and 10 in great field position at their own 41. And it looks like Garrett Scott is going to be making the start in the backfield for Wilmington this evening. Behind Matt Credit in the pistol. 2 wide receivers out to the right. And Scott's going to get the first carry of the game, and he gets across the 45 to the 47-yard line for a nice gain of around 6 yards.
Already sneaking up a couple linebackers to the line of scrimmage. That's what the Indians just did. But Wilmington was able to open up a big hole for Garrett Scott there. Garrett Scott's a really physical runner. He will hit those holes hard.
Yes, he really is. We got second down and 5 yards to go for Wilmington as they're in the hurry-up offense. We got a fullback next to Credit in the pistol. 2 wide receivers out to the right. Scott, the running back. And the pitch goes to Scott. Scott with a nice hole. He gets down to about the 48-yard line before being brought down by a pack of Indian defenders. And it's going to be third down and short for Wilmington.
The one thing that the Indians did well there is that they did a pretty good job of playing outside in. They chose not to let him have that edge on that pitch and let him get up the sideline.
And I mean, Scott, he did have a hold there for a second, but it closed up pretty quickly.
We saw him take pitches like that against West Carrollton for big yards.
We got 5 wide receivers now. Credit in the shotgun. 2 receivers out to the right, 2 receivers out to the left. Man in motion, and Credit's going to fake the jet sweep, and he's going to take it himself. He's at the 40, the 35, the 30. He's going to take this one to the barn, and it's a Hurricane touchdown.
Well, that was pretty easy, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. 48-yard touchdown scamper, actually 52-yard touchdown scamper for Matt Credit on that play. What do you take away from that, Ethan?
Matt Credit made it look easy, didn't he? They spread the defense out wide. They go man-to-man on all those receivers, so the defense is spread out by that time. Garrett Scott with a good read, and he takes the ball up the sideline.
It only took him a minute and 17 seconds to score that first touchdown. Ben Constant's going to be in to kick the extra point for Wilmington. Credit with the hold. Good hold, kicks end over end, and the extra point attempt is good. With 10 minutes and 43 seconds left to play in our first quarter, Wilmington ahead 7-0. Hillsboro will be on their first offensive series in just a few moments.
Impressive drive by Garrett Scott right there. That's sort of a typical play calling set of what we've seen from Wilmington so far. A lot of the pistol, and then occasionally you'll see that spread offense come out 5 wide. And that's dangerous.
It is very dangerous. Again, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's game is being brought to you by Wilmington Savings Bank. Is your hometown banking solution located at 184 North South Street near downtown Wilmington. Phone them at 937-382-1659 or stop by and visit Tom Burns and the friendly staff. They have expanded internet banking and bill paying solutions, personal and business accounts, and lending services available to Wilmington Savings Bank. 184 North South Street, Wilmington, Ohio.
And the Wilmington coaches, who we can see through a little window next to our booth here, have promised me that they won't get too wild and squirrely as we play tonight.
Constant's high kick. This one's going to go. It's going to stop and bounce. No. The ball's going to go out of bounds. It's going to be an illegal kick out of bounds for Wilmington. It went out to 12. Looked like it stuck the landing there. It was going to stay.
I know, an odd landing. We're not playing on turf tonight. We're playing on natural grass, so maybe that had something to do with stopping that ball on a dime.
Well, out comes Hillsboro's offense. Ethan, what do you expect on this first drive from Hillsboro's offense?
They need some way to answer it. They need to pick up yards, and they need something to get their confidence going early on. This could be a big win for them. If they win it, it's a conference game, and who better to do that win against than an undefeated team in your own conference?
The quarterback is number 20, Toby Warrington. Behind him, there's the big man, number 5, Jed Asmus. Number 28's coming in motion in the pistol formation. Takes the snap. The quarterback's going to keep it up the middle. Bounce offs that minute black line. Here he goes. He's at the 35, and he's tackled by Garrett Scott down in Wilmington territory at the 36-yard line. Toby Warrington on that carry.
Well, we saw Garrett Scott do that, and on that play, the two quarterbacks meet up.
That men in black defense, they were going inside. He just bounced off of them and took it for a nice big gain.
Yeah, the safety took a poor angle on the runner there. He fell down on the grass. Literally, he fell down.
Well, it's going to be first down and 10 from the Wilmington 36-yard line. There's 5 wide receivers. Warrington is the quarterback. 4 receivers out to the left, 1 over here to the right. He's going to take a pass. It's going to be a screen pass, and it's incomplete. Intended for number 28, Braden Widley. And it's going to be second down and 10.
Little bubble screens like that are a great way for your quarterback to gain some confidence, and it's a great way to pick up some yards. They're almost like extended running plays. If he could have caught that, there would have been some yards there.
It's going to be second down and 10 from the Wilmington 36-yard line. Now, we see Wilmington, they run the pistol on offense. It looks like that, Hillsboro runs a little bit of the pistol and spread too, and, they're not going hurry up either. We got 3 receivers out to the left. Number 5 is the running back, 1 receiver out here to the right. He's going to get the carry, and he's going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage by that men in black defense. There's at least 6 guys to that line on that play. Number 6 was on the carry, Jordan Mosley.
Yeah, Wilmington does a great job of converging on the ball, and that time they get a really good push up front and through the middle. Their defensive line has played pretty well over the past few games.
It's going to be third down and 11 from the Wilmington 37 as Mosley lost a yard on that play. Let's see what Hillsboro has coming this time out. They're going to be 5 wide again. 4 receivers out to the left, 1 over here to the right. Think they're going to try another little bubble screen?
I don't know. We'll see.
Warrington takes the snap. He fires deep. One-on-one coverage, and he overthrows his intended receiver, number 25, Littell Hatchcock. And there's a flag back here on the 38-yard line. Might have been early movement on the line.
Yeah, it's on the opposite side of the field of where he threw that pass, so I'm not looking for interference.
Usually,
illegal procedure.
Yeah, you're going to end up with
Hillsboro.
some kind of penalty when you've got those long plays downfield. Takes so long for them to set up.
They're going to decline the penalty, and it's going to be fourth down and 11 for Hillsboro. Do they punt it here or they go for it?
It looks like they're keeping their offense on the – well, nope. Here come the substitutions.
The late change on the substitution.
They might have thought about it.
Dylan Bogart's going to be back deep to return this punt. In to kick it, R.J. Collard, number 10 for Hillsboro. Bogart back on his own 10-yard line. Collard will be punting from the 50.
Bit of a short field to punt on. Dylan just needs to make sure he fields this ball cleanly, I think.
If the ball's going to go anywhere, doesn't go anywhere near him, he needs to get away from it as quickly as possible. There's the punt. Nice spiral. It looks like it's going to hit in the end zone for a touchback, and Wilmington will take over on their second offensive possession of the night. First and 10 on the 20-yard line. Well, it looks like Hillsboro on that first possession, guys, they didn't really do very much except for that one big play, and then their offense kind of stalled out in Wilmington territory.
Yeah, they got something going. They went 5 receivers wide a couple times, and I think they missed a couple chances to make a play there.
Well, let's see what Wilmington's offense has as Matt Credit had that 52-yard scamper on the first drive. He was almost untouched on that first run back for a touchdown. And it looks like we got Garrett Scott still in his running back in the pistol. 3 wide receivers out to the right. 1 out here to the left. Man in motion. Credit back to pass. Looking. He's got all day to throw. He fires one deep across the middle, and it's incomplete.
That
Just
was
overthrew
close.
his intended receiver, number 8, Andy Ely.
Yeah, and he didn't overthrow him by much. He just couldn't catch up to that ball. Wilmington is a team that really likes to throw it down the field. They live off of the big play.
Yes, they do. I mean, That would have been a big, big momentum shifter right there if that would have been completed. Andy, he was off to the races. It was one-on-one coverage.
Yeah, they love challenging one-on-one coverages like that. That's why you have to win the one-on-one matchup. Square your hips up with that receiver.
Oh, Scott got hit hard in the backfield, but he's still on his feet, and he's going to be dragged down by a tribe of Indian defenders in the backfield for a loss of 2 yards, and it's going to be third down and 12 for Wilmington. Didn't mean to interrupt you right there. That play got blown up from the start.
Yeah, was that a bad handoff?
No, that they were running to the weak side, and the defense there, a couple linebackers got in there pretty quick. We have 4 wide receivers for Credit in the pistol. Scott behind him. It's third down and 12. Credit is back to pass. He's got all day to throw. He's going to fire one deep. He's going to be wide open. It's Tyler Bogart, and it's completed at the 40-yard line, and he's struck down inside the 30, down to the 28-yard line of Hillsboro, and it's a first down Hurricane.
That was a very beautiful play there.
Again, what I'm seeing on that play, it looks almost like a cover one because you only have one safety back deep. Somebody's going to have a man-on-man matchup, and that time they got a man-on-man matchup with the other safety who came down to pick up a man-on-man. That's something we've seen Wilmington really exploit.
In the ace formation, Scott gets the carry on first down on the hurry-up. And he's gobbled up at the line of scrimmage for no gain. It's going to be second down and 10. Pitch and catch all day long from Credit and his receivers.
Yeah, the Indians, it seems like they really respect that running game, and they should, because when Wilmington can run the ball on you, you don't know what to expect. So you have to stop the run if you want to have a chance against the Hurricane. But then the trouble is, of course, stopping Garrett Scott in the long ball.
The lights are on. Inside the
the
booth.
light switch. 3 wide receivers. Credit's going to roll out from the pistols. Fires it down the middle, and it's complete to Bogart. And Dylan Bogart still on his feet. What a play, and that's a touchdown Hurricane. Dylan Bogart, he did the impossible there. He stayed off his butt.
Yeah, he made a good read rolling out to his left. An athletic quarterback, you can roll him out of the pocket. It looked like he had a couple guys there. He had a guy running down the sideline who was open too. But he finds his man Dylan, big play guy, and he gets into the end zone.
Dylan Bogart with 2 big receptions. One was the touchdown on that drive, and Ben Constant is going to come in to kick the extra point for the Hurricane. Credit the holder. The snap is good. The kick is up end over end, and it looks like it is good. Our score was 7 minutes and 42 seconds left to play in our first quarter. It's the Hurricane 14 and the Indians 0. Ethan, 2 drives, 2 touchdowns for Wilmington.
And they've made it look simple. So far, Hillsboro has not been winning the one-on-one matchups. These receivers are running all over the place. On these defensive backs, they're running straight up the field. They're running deep corner routes. They're going deep, and they've gone deep early and often. That's one of my keys to the game was winning the one-on-one matchups because they exploit teams that use their safeties in man-on-man defenses.
Back deep to return the kickoff for Hillsboro, number 26. Or number 28, Braden Wiley, and number 81, Ryan LeMaster. Constant is in to kick it off from the 40-yard line.
Who was the lone team that Hillsboro lost to?
Western Brown.
Western Brown.
There goes the kick from Constant. It's a deep one. Taking it by number 81 for Hillsboro, Ryan LeMaster. He's across the 30, the 25, across the 30, and drugged down at the 36. The ball did come out on that play. Let's see who came up with it. And it looks like Hillsboro's going to retain possession. They're going to take over first down and 10 on their own 36-yard line for their second possession of the ball game.
Good little return there. They needed that. They're down 14-0 already. It's just the first quarter. They need to put a drive together and avoid the mistakes they made last time. Those drops, the 1-yard gains into nowhere. They need to move the ball down the field and get a score.
And I mean, if you're gonna play against this Wilmington team, you have to score touchdowns. You can't score field goals because they'll eat you up all game.
Yeah.
Trips out to the right. Warrington in the pistol. And there's a flag down. It's going to be full start. No, offsides against Wilmington. And it's going to be first down and 5 after the penalty for Hillsboro. Looks like a lineman on Wilmington's team got across in the neutral zone.
Wilmington's linemen, they really like being aggressive. They love stopping the run, and they love getting after the quarterback. They're antsy to make a play, so sometimes you'll have that.
Well, anyways, after the offsides penalty, We got 1st and 5. 7 minutes, 31 seconds to play in our first quarter. Wilmington already ahead, 14-0. Trips out to the right again. Warrington and a quarterback in the pistol. One receiver out to the left. Warrington's going to hand it off to the big man, number 6, Jordan Mosley. Mosley drives the pile forward to the 45-yard line. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 1. That penalty really hurt Wilmington on this first drive because first play, 3-yard gain. They only need 2 more yards to get the first down.
If you're going to give up the big plays on defense, you absolutely have to avoid mistakes on offense. You have to make up for that. You have to get back in the game. Wilmington's defensive line got good penetration on that game like we've seen so many times before. They stuffed the running back.
Again, 3 receivers out here to the right, 1 to the left. Mosley, the running back. Warrington in the pistol. And the snap. Warrington's going to keep it himself. He's across the 45 and drugged down at the 48-yard line, and it's a Indian first down.
Good little read by the quarterback. He finds the hole. He picks up the first down. Way to keep the chains going.
And again, like we mentioned earlier in this game, Wilmington runs a no-huddle pistol, but it looks like Hillsboro doesn't play no-huddle. They take it a little slower when they run their pistol offense.
Yeah, to run the no-huddle, I really think you have to have really disciplined kids who know their assignments, and you have to have good coaching too. So you're not going to see a lot of teams do that.
Warrington, 3 receivers out to the right. Warrington back to pass, bubble screen. This time it's completed, but he's going backwards. He's at the 40 and is shoved out of bounds. Number 28 on the catch, Braden Widley.
Yeah, that time the safety sniffed out that bubble screen. Also, one of the things that impeded him on that catch was that he had to go up and make a jumping catch, a high catch, so he almost had to stop his forward progress running the ball, so that already gave the defense a step on him.
It's going to be 2nd down and about 14 yards to go. Big loss on that bubble screen. If you're going to throw a bubble screen, you need to hit him in the numbers and let him take off and run.
Yeah, quick pass, quick decision, quick running.
Again, 3 receivers out to the right. Warrington in the pistol. Mosley behind him, 1 receiver out to the left. Mosley going to run the option this time. He's going to keep it, and he's gobbled up in the backfield. The ball's loose. It looks like the Hurricane have it. It's Garrett Scott. Garrett Scott is drugged down across the 30 to the 27-yard line, and Wilmington gets the turnover.
They were playing nickel that time. You had 2 linebackers, and one of the linebackers made an outstanding play. He got in behind the offensive line on that pitch. He ran down the quarterback from behind and karate chopped that football out.
Andy recovered it too.
Yeah, that was a great play.
Well, Wilmington takes over in great field position after the fumble. 1st down and 10 on the Indian 26-yard line. This time, Jerry Johns is in at running back for Wilmington. Credit is in the pistol. 2 receivers out to the left. They got a tight end on the left and a receiver out to the right. Credit is back to pass, looking, firing, completed to his tight end, number 88 on this side, and he's brought down at the 25. Number 88, Austin Miller on the reception. Just a gain of a yard on that play.
Still a good decision by Garrett Scott because that was his check down into the flat. He had a guy on the left side of the field, which is where he was looking all the way. He was running a deep post. He didn't like what he saw there. He checked it down. We'll take that.
Again, great decisions from this quarterback we see from Wilmington. We got 5 wide receivers for Credit in the shotgun. 3 to the right, 2 to the left. Bogart comes in motion, and he's on the jet sweep. Bogart's got a nice hole on the outside, stiff arm, and he's drugged down at the 22-yard line. A nice little gain on that jet sweep.
On that play, I already see the Indians making a bit of an adjustment on defense. They had 2 safeties back deep. They do not want Garrett Scott to pass it over their heads anymore.
Did you see that block that was thrown over there?
That was a big impact block. And, of course, we see Wilmington, when they see those 2 guys back deep, they send one of their guys in motion, they hand it off to him, or they hand it off to their back, trying to keep this defense off balance.
We got 3rd down and 6 for Wilmington. The play still coming in from the sideline. Credit will be in the pistol. John's behind him. 2 receivers out to the left, 1 to the right. The handoff goes to Johns. No, this is number 38 this time. Number 38 bouncing off tacklers down inside the 10-yard line. Number 38, Chris McEvoy was on the carry.
Yeah, you're not going to stop Garrett Scott or Jerry Johns with arm tackles. They're two very physical
That was a
runners.
different back we haven't seen all year. That was Chris McEvoy, number 38 for Wilmington.
I stand corrected. You can't stop any of these Wilmington backs with arm tackles. They are all very good physical runners.
Chris is in the backfield. He gets the carry again across the 10, driving his way down to the 5-yard line, where it'll be second down and goal for Wilmington. We've got about 4 minutes and counting left in our first quarter. Wilmington's already knocking on the door again, guys. Credit's going to go under center for the second time in this ball game. 2 tight ends set. One receiver out to the left, one to the right. They're going to hand it off to Chris again, and he's met at the line. A great play for the defensive lineman for Hillsboro, number 30, Lane Hester, on the tackle for the Indians.
The Indians showing nickel early in this drive. They're going back to their 4-3 now that the Hurricane have entered the red zone. They want to stop that run.
We got an official timeout, an injured Wilmington Hurricane down on the field. We'll take this injury timeout to go over a couple more of our sponsors. Bogart's Barbecue is located at 975 South Street, Wilmington, Ohio, the home for the world-famous Southern Barbecue. At Bogart's Southern Barbecue, serving the best-tasting barbecue is our reason for being. Stop by our location and enjoy our fall-off-the-bone tender meats, savory sides, and delicious desserts. We'd be mighty pleased to have you. Bogart's Barbecue, shouting, "Go Canes!" Call them at 937-655-8100, or just stop in for great Southern Barbecue at 975 South Street, Wilmington, Ohio. Go Canes! And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, every Tuesday night we come to you live from Generations Pizza for the Hurricane Sports Show. It'll be live again right here on WALHradio.com.
On this 3rd and goal, I'm looking for the Hurricane to do something with Matt Credit's arm. I expect him to maybe roll him out and use his legs to and that will allow him to either make a decision to pass the ball or run the ball into the end zone, but I expect him to pass the ball on this play.
After the injury, Scott will be in at tailback. Credit in the pistol. Back to pass, looking. He's going to roll out to the left. He fires in the end zone, and it's almost picked off. Number 7 was on the coverage. Ryan Hagan. The pass was intended for Andy Ely, number 8. That was a good pass. It was kind of dangerous, though.
Yeah, Matt Credit did a really good job of buying time there, rolling out to his left. He found his man making some space away from the defensive back, but the defensive back stayed on his hip and came back and made that great pass deflection. Good play.
Ben Constant will be in for the field goal attempt. It's going to be about a 23-yard field goal for the Canes. They're on the right hash mark. Credit will take the snap. Good snap. Ball's down, end over end, and the kick is good. Wilmington takes a 17-0 lead over the Indians of Hillsboro with 3 minutes and 16 seconds left to play in our first quarter. Not a touchdown, but Wilmington still getting points out of drives.
Wilmington would have loved to put up a touchdown there, but they avoid the turnover at the end of that drive. Matt Credit thrown into the corner of the end zone, and they still get 3 points. They have to be happy with that. They have to be happy being up 17-0 right now.
I think that was one of the worst decisions we've seen Credit make all season long.
Yeah, it was a ball that could have gone either way. The defensive back did a great job of coming back to his man, deflecting it, but he did force it a bit into the corner of the end zone there.
From the scoreboard, we've got Lee Hindy reporting from that East Clinton, Washington Courthouse Blue Lions game. There is no score with about 3 minutes in the first quarter.
All right, thank you very much for that, Rick. Ben Constant will be in to kick it off. Number 81, Ryan Lemaster, is back deep, along with number 28, Braden Wiley. Constant squib kick up the middle. It's going to be fielded by Lemaster at the 20-yard line. Lemaster had a great return last time. He almost gets tripped up, but he's hit hard out of bounds on the far sideline at the 32-yard line, where Hillsboro will take over first down and 10.
we've seen a lot of squib kicks from these high school teams so far. It's just sort of a way to keep the receiving team off balance, to keep it out of the hands of maybe one of their dangerous returners.
And we've already seen Constant kick one out of balance earlier tonight as well.
Yeah. So, and it's also, it could be a safer kick than pooching it deep.
We got a great crowd here at Richards Memorial Field in Hillsboro, Ohio. Don't forget at halftime, ladies and gentlemen, we have the mayor of Hillsboro and famous comedian going to be on air, Drew Hastings.
It'll be interesting to say the least. I don't know what to expect.
I don't either. I was watching one of his stand-up specials today. Well, they're going to go the I formation this time, something Vandalia did last week, Hillsboro did. The handoff is a handoff to number 30. He's mitting the backfield that time by a Wilmington defensive line, actually a Wilmington linebacker, number 16, Porter Paget. Number 30 was on the carry, Lane Hester, and that's a loss of 3 yards.
The Wilmington playing 4-3 there, and just before the snap, both of their safeties snuck up right behind their defensive line, and they sniffed that play out. They stuffed it.
That men in black defense, let me tell you what, they're looking good this week.
And tonight the men in black are in those white uniforms, so I don't know, I guess they're the men in white this week.
Number 30 on the carry again, Lane Hester. For Hillsboro, brought down by a pack of Hurricane defenders back at the original line of scrimmage, and it's 3rd down and 10.
Wilmington's forced the Indians into a situation that they wanted them to be in on 3rd down. It's 3rd and a mile. The Indians are most likely going to have to put it up in the air here.
And then we saw what happened last week when Butler was going to put up in the air pressure in his face, and Wilmington's corners and safeties last week, they played it good, and they got 4 interceptions on defense.
And so far in passing situations, it seems like Wilmington has come out in the nickel, and they've had either 1 or 2 men deep, as opposed to the Indians, who've shown a lot of man-to-man.
I formation again, twins out to the right. Back to pass is Warrington under pressure. He gets away from one. He throws this one away. No, it's complete on the side. That's a nice grab. He got the 1 foot in bounds. Number 14 with the catch, Brian Smith for Hillsboro, but it's still 4th down and long.
Pressure right in his face on that play, right in the gut. It's sort of interesting to see what Wilmington did. They snuck their safeties up again.
He threw it in double coverage, but he also threw it only where his receiver could come down with it.
Yeah, it was a bit of a dangerous pass because they had the underneath
There were
coverage.
2 guys there, though.
They had the underneath coverage, and they had somebody right behind him, too, a safety.
Dylan Bogart's back to receive the punt. R.J. Collar is the punter. A little bit of a floating snap. It's a high, wobbly kick. It bounces at the 39, and it will go out of bounds around the 38-yard line. Not a real far kick that time. But anyways, the Hurricane offense will come back out with 1:30 left to play in our first quarter, where they'll take over on their own 38-yard line. 1st down and 10. They got a 17-0 lead right now, guys.
After seeing both of these defenses play a couple series, Wilmington has really played as the better defense so far.
Last week they gave up 28 points. They haven't given up that many points all season long. They probably come out here with a lot of momentum.
Yeah, and I'm not only looking at the play of the front 7 of Wilmington, but the play of their 2 safeties who have been sneaking up to the line of scrimmage and then dropping back, dropping their hit backs, getting back there, and covering the deep halves of the field.
5 wide receivers for credit. Who's in the gun? 3 out to the right, 2 out to the left. Bogart's coming in motion. Fake jet sweep. Back to pass. Credit's under pressure, and he gets away from one, and he doesn't get away from the second one. That is a huge sack for the Indians, back all the way at the Wilmington 15, and it's going to be 2nd down and about a mile for Wilmington.
Yeah, that play kind of left me scratching my head. I think what they wanted to do is that they had some linemen running upfield almost as if they were trying to set up a screen off of that fake jet sweep. I'm pretty sure that's what he wanted to do. Garrett Scott was running the wrong direction, or not Garrett Scott, Matt Credit was running the wrong direction. Maybe he should have just thrown that ball away.
Well, that's a big loss for Wilmington. They come out in the pistol this time. 4 wide receivers. Scott the tailback. Credit's going to go back to pass. Looking. This time he's got all day. He sends a floater out to Bogart, and it's incomplete. Intended for Dylan Bogart, number 12. Logan Leslie was back in coverage, and it's 3rd down and really long.
Matt Credit got what he was looking for again, that one-on-one coverage. That ball just sort of fluttered in the air. It hung up there. And Logan Leslie did a pretty good job of catching up to his man and getting a finger on that ball.
And Bogart had to stop a little bit to even be able to catch up to that ball, you know.
He almost had to play defense on that ball and tip it away from the defender, Logan Leslie.
Well, it's 3rd down and long for Wilmington. They're on the 15, and they need to get to the 48-yard line to pick up a 1st down. Two receivers out to the right, one to the left. They're in the pistol. Credit's going to roll out the pass. He's got quite a bit of time. Fires, completes to Bogart. Bogart is tripped up at the 32-yard line, and it's fourth down, and Wilmington actually has to punt for the first time today.
Yeah, when it's third and forever like that, you just don't want to turn the ball over. But really, they get a decent little play out of that to help their punter out. He rolls out right and finds his man on a little check down on a deep in route.
And Bogart already with 3 receptions and a touchdown. Credit is going to kick this one to number 12, Logan Leslie, and number 81, Ryan LeMaster. Credit standing at his 20-yard line. Leslie and LeMaster standing at their own 35. There's the kick. That's a nice punt by Credit. Fair catch called for at the 25-yard line, and that is where the Indians will take over, first down and 10.
The last time this defense took the field, I was talking about the safeties being able to drop their hips back and get back in the deep coverage. That's been the difference between this team and the Indians. The Indians haven't done a lot of that, and they gave a couple big plays because they didn't have that deep safety back deep, and they were losing the man-on-man matchups.
And that punt takes us to the end of our first quarter. Our score, ladies and gentlemen, is the Wilmington Hurricanes 17 and Hillsboro nothing. It was all Wilmington in that first quarter. They had 4 possessions. They scored 3 times on those 4 possessions, a field goal and 2 touchdowns. Matt Credit, he scored the 1 touchdown with his feet and threw the other one to Dylan Bogart deep. And Bogart, he was spun down there about the 5-yard line, stayed on his feet and ran in for the touchdown.
Matt Credit's been having a pretty good game so far. He's been finding his men wide open, and Dylan's been his go-to guy.
From our sister broadcast, Lee Hendy has informed me that the Blue Lions have surged ahead of East Clinton 8-0 with a little over a minute left in that first quarter.
So, our little sister broadcast, right?
That's right, little sister.
Well, here we go. Hillsboro will take over to begin the second quarter. They got 4 wide receivers out to the right. Warrington, the quarterback, 1 receiver out to the left. In the gun. Wilmington with 4 down linemen. 1 drops back in coverage, and he's under pressure. He gets away from it. He's still got a spy on him. He takes off, and he's brought down across the 25-yard line to the 27, a pickup of 2.
Man, both of those defensive ends almost came at the quarterback untouched on that play. Wilmington's defensive ends, they got the leverage inside, and they got after that quarterback. Interesting to see that Wilmington had a quarterback spy on the play, ready to stop that rollout, or that he could have picked up some major yardage there.
Wilmington's defense has been giving pressure all game long on this Hillsboro offensive line. You know, Wilmington's defense just looks way bigger than them.
Yeah, and so far they've been able to show more looks than the Indian defense, really.
Warrington in the pistol, 3 receivers out to the left. The handoff goes up the middle, bounces off 1 tackler, but doesn't get away from the other one. Number 30 was on the carry for Hillsboro, Lane Hester, and it brings up a 3rd down and about 7 yards to go for Hillsboro. They need to pick up a first down. They need to put some points on the board here, Ethan.
Yeah, and, going back to the West Carrollton game that I helped call with you, AJ, West Carrollton tried to run the ball to the point where they just kept getting stuffed in the backfield, and they scored points by actually throwing the ball around the yard and spreading the defense out a little bit. So maybe they need to try to get this Wilmington defense off their guard by throwing the ball, spreading the defense out.
I agree with you here. We'll see what they do on 3rd down. They're in the pistol, 4 wide receivers. Hester, the back, Warrington, the quarterback, and it looks like we're going to have a timeout taken by Hillsboro. A little bit of a miscommunication. It looks like the receiver on this side didn't know what they were running.
Yeah, you might as well call a timeout there. It's 3rd and 7. You're down 17 points. You want to get something going right now, so go over that play again. Get back out in the field.
We'd like to thank another one of our sponsors here this evening. Bill Marine Ford, Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep are proud sponsors for Hurricane Football on WALHradio.com. They offer great new car lines as well as quality reconditioned used cars. Stop by at 1182 West Main Street in Wilmington, next to the fairgrounds, or call the friendly staff at 937-382-3858 for great new and used cars and service on your current vehicle. That's Bill Marine Ford, Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep, 1182 West Main Street, Wilmington, Ohio. After the timeout, we got 3rd down and 7. Warrington, the quarterback, 5 wide receivers, 4 out here to the left, 1 out to the right. Wilmington's got one safety back, 2 backers, and 4 corners. And that's going to be a penalty flag. 2 people moved on that play, and it's a full start. It looked like they were trying to maybe make Wilmington jump, but again, a well-disciplined Wilmington Hurricane team.
Yeah, it just looked like the receiver took off a little too early there on that play, and it makes an already difficult situation even harder on this offense.
Yeah, and there was a tackle that moved also on that left side of the line, and they're going to come out again. Now it's 3rd and 12. 4 receivers again out to the left, 1 out to the right. Warrington, the quarterback.
Looks like the same plays on.
Yes, it does look like they're running the same play. They're still trying to get him to jump. Warrington finally takes the snap, rolls out to the left. Looking, firing, and it's incomplete. Intended for number 81, Ryan LeMaster.
That was good coverage.
It was great coverage. Number 9 for Wilmington. Branson Newbury and Brad Keller were on the coverage. Number 10 is going to come in for Hillsboro, R.J. Collard. And Dylan Bogart's back at his 45-yard line to return this punt. Collard's going to punt it from his 10.
It's going to be good field position.
Another great field position. Wilmington has done that all year long. They've won the field position battle, even against Butler last week.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
It's a nice high kick. Bogart takes it from his 38-yard line. He jukes a man out of his shoes. Another one. He's down the sideline, and he's across the 40, still in bounds. He runs a man over at the 30, and he's brought down at the 27. A nice return for Dylan Bogart.
He showed pretty good patience there around midfield, too. He waited for his blocks to set up. That's a sign of maturity in a player. I want to go back to that last defensive stand. Wilmington's defense really did a great job of getting leverage. On that last play, the Indians opted to roll out their quarterback to try to buy him some time, but there were defenders on top of him almost right away. You got to wonder if that Indian offensive line is already getting tired of having to go up against these big guys from Wilmington.
Well, but making a point of that, it looked towards the end of that play right there that Hillsboro was hoping that he was going to just take a cut outside, and he went back inside to get more yardage.
Garrett Scott is behind Credit in the pistol. Fullback next to him, and he's going to get the carry. Out to the left. He's at the 25. He's at the 20-yard line, and he's still on his feet. It looks like the face mask on that play, and he's brought down at the 22-yard line, but it looks like this one doesn't matter. It's going to be a face mask penalty against the defense.
Yeah, they put the offset back there in the pistol as fullback. He picks up a pretty good block. He doesn't follow him, though. He chooses to bounce it out. That was the right read there. Garrett Scott, I think he's shown pretty good ball carrier vision because we've not only seen him be able to read straight up the gut, but he's also been able to cut it back across the grain and pick up some yards.
Well, after the face mask, it's going to be a first down and goal for Wilmington. Well, it's actually going to be first down and 10 from the 11-yard line. They still got to get to the 1 for a first down. But again, Wilmington's back in the red zone for the second time this evening, where they are already 1 of 1 with a field goal. In the I formation this time, Scott, the running back, 1 receiver out to the left. Credit's going to roll out the pass.
He's running.
He might just take it off himself.
Running.
He's going to run it. He's at the 5, and Credit's going to sneak in the end zone for his second touchdown of the evening. Touchdown, Hurricane.
That was obvious. That was total deception. It looked like they were going to go left, and he just rolled out to the right, and he was completely.
He had a receiver in the end zone, but he was well covered. Best thing to do. A lot of green in
what
front
he does
of
best,
off.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the safeties were playing close to the line of scrimmage again that time. They went play action with the defense that close to the line of scrimmage. And that time he rolls out right. He's looking to his tight end all the way, it looks like there. But the Indians did a pretty good job of jamming him up and sealing that receiver off. But there's nobody there to stop Credit.
Yep. Ben Constant in to kick the extra point. Credit to hold it. And the snap's good. The kick is in over end, and it is good. Our score with 10 minutes even left to play in our first half. Wilmington 24 and Hillsboro 0. Matt Credit, already 3 total touchdowns on the day, 2 rushing touchdowns and a passing touchdown. I believe he's at least 3 of 5 through the air today. And I think all of his catches have been caught by one man, Dylan Bogart, who's got the 1 receiving touchdown for Wilmington.
Yeah, you have to give credit where it's due, right? He's been making the right plays with his legs and with his eyes. That's another sign of maturity on this Wilmington team. He's being able to read the defense, and he's not been forcing passes in there, save for the pass down here in the left end zone.
Ben Constant is in to kick this one off. Number 28, Braden Widely, and number 81, Ryan Lemaster is back deep to receive this kickoff from Constant. And we got the kickoff. It's a squib kick to the left. Bounces around a little bit, and it's recovered by Hillsboro at the 37-yard line. That's where they'll take over. First down and 10 on offense.
The angle at which that ball was kicked was kind of shallow. It almost looked like a couple Wilmington players ran after that ball to try to recover it. You've got to stay on guard against this Wilmington team. They're always looking for the big play, whether it's on special teams, defense, or offense.
Well, Wilmington's already got one turnover, or Hillsboro's already got one turnover in this ball game. Last week, this Wilmington defense forced 4 turnovers, and they had one themselves on offense, which was another fumble. But we haven't seen any miscues yet today from Wilmington's offense. Warrington will be in the gun. 5 wide receivers, 3 out to the right, 2 out to the left. Shift on a defensive line. Man comes in motion. He gets this one. Number 28 missed one tackle across the 40-yard line to the 43. Number 28, Braden Widely on the carry. He picks up 5, and it's second down.
Yeah, the initial contact was there. Brady McCune made a pretty good read on that play. He got into the backfield. He just missed a low tackle on that play.
We heard the ooh and ah from the coaches on the left side of us, too.
Yeah, one of the things you have to learn as a defensive back, especially coming up and making plays against receivers and tailbacks, is taking the right angle.
Warrington in the gun again. Fake check sweep this time, and he keeps it himself and gets out to the 44-yard line, almost the 45, and it's going to be third down and about 4 yards to go here for Hillsboro.
Save for an early play in the first quarter, Wilmington has held the Indians in check in their running game, really, and they've especially contained that quarterback pretty well on read options.
Clint Massey leading 29-0 over McLean. We just heard that score over the PA system here. And it's third down and 4, and it looks like we're going to have a timeout. That's the second timeout taken by Hillsboro with 9:12 left to play in the first half.
It's only 3rd and 3 on this play. This is a very manageable third down. They're 5 yards away from being at midfield. This could be a really critical drive in the second quarter for them.
But do you run the ball here, or do you kind of pass the ball? I mean, the 2 swing passes they've done, one was incomplete, the other one they went backwards on. And I mean, they had a couple passes downfield. One was caught over here on this sideline. Guy got the 1 foot in. Do you throw it, throw a little short curl route, maybe a little out route, or do you throw a slant, or do you run the ball here on third down, Ethan?
Wilmington's been doing a pretty good job in the last couple series of stopping any type of runs up the middle or even outside. They've done a great job of playing the outside in on those run plays, limiting carries from getting around the edge of the defense. I think you almost have to pass here.
Quick slant. That'll be that's what they're going to try.
Yeah, maybe roll your quarterback out and give him that check down option or a quick pass. Quick decision for him to make and pick up this first down.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, we are live here on WALHradio.com. AJ Ganger here alongside Rick Phillips and Ethan Rudd, calling the Wilmington Hurricane and Hillsboro Indian SCOL conference matchup. Well, after the timeout, again, 3rd and 3, they line up in the wishbone formation, or the flex bone. Warrington under center. Man going in motion. Mosley will get the carry. Pummels ahead. He gets the first down across the 50-yard line. Great second effort there from Mosley.
Very good run there. Yeah.
Well, I guess that's why I'm not the coach. They elect not to pass there. They line up in the wishbone instead there. They line up their offset back on the right side, and then they motion him to the weak side to try to catch that Wilmington defense just off guard, even if they can catch him off guard.
At the beginning of the game, AJ, didn't you predict a 10-point win here?
My 10-point spread's going down the crapper right now. And we're going to have a timeout on the field, taken this time by the Hurricane defense. That's their first timeout of the ball game.
Yeah, I think they take a timeout here to give their guys a bit of a rest, to talk things over, and to try to stop the Indians before they get any momentum going here before the half ends.
I'm surprised that Hillsboro hasn't given the ball to Mosley more often. Last week we saw a big running back in Nick Martin when they played Vandalia, and Martin wore down this Wilmington offense But, I mean, this week it seems like Hillsboro, he hasn't been in very often. They're doing a lot of fake jet sweeps, keeping it with the quarterback. They're doing a couple jet sweeps. They're throwing the ball a little bit. But, I mean, they're not running the ball, pounding the ball up the middle. We saw last week this men in black defense broke when Vandalia ran the ball up the middle. Yeah,
Hillsboro is going to have to try to remain balanced. And I think, like you said, maybe try to run the ball up the middle more. We've seen him in a lot of single-back situations. Maybe you put in an offset back to give him a lead blocker.
In the pistol formation is Warrington, 3 receivers out to the right. Play action, under pressure, and the ball is incomplete. Hit the ground, intended that time for Ryan Hagan, number 7 for Hillsboro. Garrett Scott on the pressure there, and he almost got there to the poor little Warrington.
Yeah, the quarterbacks almost meet up again. That time it looked like he had another little bubble screen, sort of as a check down on the right side of the field. He didn't have blockers in front of him, per se. He tried to hit that little quick slant on that same side of the field.
Got another score here. Massey is up 36-0 over McLean now in the second quarter.
Massey 36-0 over McLean. Flex bone again. Under center's Warrington, receiver out to the right. This time they hand off to Mosley, bounces off one and doesn't get away from the rest as he's going to lose about a half a yard back to midfield. And it's 3rd and long again. I guess that answers my question on why they're not running the ball up the middle.
Yeah, they try to put it in that offset back again to give him a bit of a lead blocker on that play. Mosley bumps into his own man on that play and gets dragged down by a swarm of white jerseys on that play. Wilmington's a disciplined defense. They swarm on the ball when the Indians have tried to run it, and they bring down the ball carrier. They've done a great job of getting pressure up the front, so I don't know.
And the flex bone again, offset flex bone. Warrington under center, receiver out here to the left. Mosley the back. Straight drop back pass. He's going to fire one up for grabs. And Dylan Bogart almost grabbed that ball. That pass was intended for number 25, Latrell Haithcock.
Winning the one-on-one matchup, Dylan did a great job of staying there step for step. The receiver that he was on that play.
And it's now 4th down, and the Indians are going to punt this one away. R.J. Collard will be in to punt from his 38-yard line and back at his 15, Dylan Bogart for the Hurricane. Slow snap again, punts up, nice spiraling punt. Bogart's going to let this one bounce into the end zone for a touchback. That was a nice punt, but he's only going to net about 28 yards on that punt. And Wilmington's offense will come back out again, 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line here. It's just about 7:56 left to play until halftime, guys. Wilmington's already up big, 24-0, and again, we heard Clint Massey's up big as well.
Impressive game so far. The Hurricane they've done everything on both sides of the ball. They've done everything on defense, and obviously their offense has been as stellar as it has been in any of the games.
Credit is in the pistol. Scott, the lone back. 3 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left. Credit is going to run the option. He pitches it to Garrett Scott across the 20, still up on his feet. He's at the 30, and a gain of 12 for Garrett Scott and a Hurricane 1st down.
Great read by Matt Credit there. He takes that read option out to the left side of the field. He's running. He gets a defender locked onto him, and he pitches it to his tailback, and he's got an open field to run with. Good physical run by Garrett Scott on that play, too.
Here we go again in the pistols. Scott and Credit as quarterback. 3 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left. Credit's going to drop back to pass. Trying to communicate. Andy Ely's wide open on the far sideline. He's at the 40 and drugged down at the 41. There is a flag back, though, at the 1st down marker at the 42 of Wilmington. I think this one might be coming back.
Even if it does come back, Matt Credit did a great job on that play of extending the play and finding his man open down the left side of the field. That's really one of Matt Credit's better attributes, is that he's able to extend plays with his legs.
And Andy Ely did a nice job. You know, he was double coverage, and he kind of floated away from his corners there and ended up wide open there on the far sideline. Let's see what this penalty is here. And it's an ineligible receiver downfield for Wilmington, and that's going to back them up, and they're going to have to replay 1st down. Kind of a mistake there, but it's still 1st down and 15 for Wilmington. We got got quite a few fans over there on the visitor sideline representing Wilmington. Looks like we got quite a few students over there in the student section as well tonight.
It's good to see. When you're in high school, you always love seeing those guys coming out and supporting you like that.
Credit in the pistol. 4 wide receivers back to pass. Garrett Scott with a nice block. He's going to fire this one on this sideline, and Dylan Bogart had it and dropped it. That could have been another big play for Wilmington. Just a touch overthrown, but it still should have been caught there.
Just missed his man Dylan there on a deep corner route to the right side of the field.
And that's going to bring up 3rd down and 15. My bad, I thought it was still first down. The marker over there still hasn't changed. But it's 3rd and 15. It's 3rd and long for Wilmington. We saw last week when they got in the 3rd and long situations, they really couldn't convert. But let's see what they do here. I'm sure they're going to pass the ball again. As Credit's in the pistol, and he's got 4 wide receivers. Garrett Scott, the lone back. Credit takes the snap, drops back the pass. He's got all the time. Now he's under pressure. He flushed out of the pocket. He fires down the field. And Andy Ely was the intended receiver. Threw to the inside shoulder there. I think he should have threw it to the outside. It was great coverage on the play by Ryan Hagan, and he was a little slow to get up there. But anyways, it's 4th and 15, and Wilmington has to punt it away.
On that play, Matt Credit got pressured, but we saw him again extend another play, and he finds his man down the field. Just missed him.
And he didn't take off. He did the smart thing, stayed in the pocket, or didn't stay in the pocket. He stayed, poised and threw the ball down the field.
And he didn't get flustered by the rush. That's a great job of keeping your eyes down the field.
Logan Leslie and our Ryan Lamaster is back to receive Credit's punt. Nice punt by Credit. And that one bounces out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Let's see where the officials will mark this one.
Speaking of pressure like that, a lot of young quarterbacks get fazed by the rush, and they elect to tuck in the ball and run with it, and they end up not gaining yards or losing yards. It's refreshing to see Matt Credit keep his eyes down the field like that and try to find his receivers. Really an unselfish play.
And it looks like the Indians will take over 1st down and 10 on their own 41 with 7 minutes and 3 seconds left to play. Last couple drives for Wilmington, we saw them go 3 or 4 on scoring drives in the first quarter, and this quarter they've only had 1 score. But that 1 score came when they were down inside the 25-yard line, and then they punted. They've only punted it twice. They punted I think 6 times last week. In the pistol is Warrington. 3 receivers out to the left. Warrington's going to keep it on the keeper, and he's drugged down by Garrett Scott alongside number 45 Austin Thompson for no gain, and it's going to be 2nd down and 10.
Austin Thompson's the guy who I think came there and karate chopped that ball that Garrett Scott recovered. Yeah, he's been doing a pretty good job of reading the quarterback and what he's going to do. He stops the quarterback on that play. I'm pretty sure, again, that he was the quarterback spy on the play where the Indians quarterback rolled out right and tried to pick up some yards, and he stopped him.
Wayne Hester, the tailback. Warrington, the quarterback. 3 receivers out to the left, 1 out to the right. In the pistol formation, man coming in motion. This is going to be a jet sweep to the right. Number 28 is on the carry, Braden Widley. For the Indians, he picks up about a yard. It's going to be 3rd down and a long 9 upcoming for the Indians.
And Chillicothe is leading Miami Trace 7-0 right now in the 2nd quarter.
Wilmington plays Miami Trace at home in just a few weeks. That's the game before the big Clinton Massey game on the 17th of October. We are all looking forward to that game. But right now, Wilmington's got to take care of Hillsboro. It's 3rd down and 9, pistol formation. Warrington back to pass with the 3 receivers out to left. He's got one-on-one coverage, and it's incomplete. Intended for number 25, Latrell Haithcock. Again, that nice little corner play by Dylan Bogart. Bogart plays great on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, we've seen him get open on offense and make some big plays catching the ball, and we've seen him again on another one-on-one matchup. He wins that battle.
He wins that battle 9 times out of 10. I mean, he plays tight coverage as a cornerback. He's always playing man over there, and he wreaks havoc when it comes to offenses. Quarterbacks hate playing against them.
He did a great job in that one-on-one coverage of opening his hips to the quarterback and turning his head around so he doesn't get that interference play, and that gives him the chance to make a play on the ball.
Collard's punt is away. Bogart's going to back away from it. That's a nice bounce, and it is into the end zone. He almost got that one.
That was close.
That was a nice punt that time by R.J. Collard. But anyways, the Wilmington offense is going to take over at their own 20-yard line here with about 5.5 minutes to play in our first half. We've seen some great punts by these punters tonight.
Yeah, and they almost made a big play there right on the goal line to pin this Wilmington offense back deep.
But you know how hard it is to get down there and, bat that, keep that ball from crossing that goal line. You got to keep your body out of that end zone when you do that.
Definitely. It'll be interesting to see what Wilmington does. Their last couple drives have sputtered out on offense, and the Indians have limited the big play after giving up several big plays in the first quarter.
Matt Credit is in at quarterback. It looks like we got a new running back, Chris McEvoy, number 38. 3 receivers out to the left. Chris is going to get the carry. He crosses the 20 and keeps his feet moving down to the 25. A gain of 5 yards for the Hurricane offense, and it's 2nd down and 5.
They can get a nice little 5-yard burst right there up the middle. The running back lowers his pads, and he picks up some positive yards.
We got a correction on that last carry. It was number 31, Andy Fisher. And Fisher is going to stay in at tailback. He's behind Credit in the pistol. The trips are still out to the left, and 1 receiver out here to the right. It's Andy Ely. Now they're in the shotgun formation. And Credit's going to keep it himself across the 30. Done a juke play out there across the 40-yard line, and it's a Wilmington first down out to the 43. I finally got a whoop in. That was Credit. Andy Fisher, number 31.
On that play, Credit got a great seal from Andy Fisher on his play. That's a great play to have. When your running back can get in there and seal a block for you like that.
And Fisher's got a big hole that time across midfield, still dragging his feet. Look at that. He had 4 guys on his back, and he still drug his feet all the way down to the Indian 41-yard line and another first down.
This Wilmington offense, it revolves really around a running back by committee. We see a lot of guys get to touch the ball. They're all physical runners. They're all dragging defenders. They love throwing in stiff arms, and they love lowering their pads down and picking up yards.
Garrett Scott back in as running back. 3 receivers out to the right, 1 out to the left. The handoff goes to Scott. Scott across the 40, across the 35. There's a flag down. He's drugged down across the 30 to the 28-yard line. Let's check the penalty. I think it might have been a hold. Came from the far sideline, and yes, it's going to be a hold against Wilmington. One of their only mistakes of the evening. We saw an ineligible receiver downfield, and this is their 2nd penalty of the game, this one being a holding call. And it's going to be 1st down and 15 for Wilmington.
One of the things that I think the Wilmington backs are pretty good at is something that won't get you in the stat book, but it's going to get on your coach's good side. It's blocking. Garrett Scott, when they line back up in the gun or sometimes in single back in the pistol, Garrett Scott will drop back, and he'll protect his passer, Matt Credit, and he's done a pretty good job. And then Andy Fisher on 2 plays back, sealing off a running lane for his quarterback, Matt Credit.
And Fisher on the carry this time. He gets to the 45-yard line before being drugged down by a couple of Indian defenders, and we got 3rd and long upcoming for the Hurricane. Second down at 14. 3 receivers out to the right. Credit in the pistol. Fisher behind him. Credit drops back to pass. He's under pressure. He gets out of the pocket. He's going to take this off. He jukes 1. Whoop! Jukes 2. He's down the sideline. And he bowls his way inside the 20 down to the 17. And Wilmington is in the red zone again. 1st down and 10.
Matt Credit with some fancy moves with his feet. It's sort of interesting to see what Wilmington was doing on the right side of the field here. They lined up a receiver behind another receiver, and he ran a wheel route deep. You got to wonder if they were looking for another big play on that down.
Also, that time, Credit is trying to get back some of those yards he got after that big loss on that sack, and I think he's got most of them back. Anywho, Wilmington's in the red zone for the 3rd time this evening in the pistol. 3 wide receivers out to the right, 1 to the left. Credit's going to hand it off to Fisher, and Fisher's met in the backfield by a tribe of Indian defenders. It's going to be a loss of around 1 yard, and it's going to be 2nd down.
We saw the same type of formation on that play where you had a receiver lined up behind another receiver. That's something that you see a lot of when you're trying to set up screens or you're trying to run that wheel route underneath the coverage.
Just about 2 minutes and 40 seconds left to play here until halftime. We are live on WALHradio.com, ladies and gentlemen, in the pistol again. Credit Penalty flag on the play, and it's going to be a full start. Looks like that was going to be a little bubble screen out there to Dylan Bogart here on this sideline.
Yeah, it looked like they came out in that same formation for the third time on this drive where Dylan was lined up behind another receiver. You get blockers in front of you. That's a great opportunity to set up a little bubble screen and pick up some positive yards.
Going to be second down and 15 for Wilmington on the 22-yard line. They need to get down to about the 7-yard line for a first down. Jiminy Christmas, the Reds really do stink this year. 5 wide receivers. Credit fakes the jet sweep to Bogart under pressure. Credit rolling, fires, and it's incomplete. Intended for number 88, Alex Miller, and it's 3rd and 15. The Reds are already losing in the
1-0
first inning, 2-0.
Oh, was it 2-0?
Holiday just hit a home run.
All right, well.
On that play, Matt Credit got immediate pressure in his face, and he opted to roll out left. And the defender looked gassed. He left him in the dust, and then he tried to check.
He also threw it behind him.
Yeah, he tried to check it down to his tight end, Miller, there, and missed him. But still a good play, extending that play and trying to get the ball down the field.
Well, it's 3rd down and 15. 2 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left. Credit in the pistol. He's rolling out the pass. Fires, got a man open, and it's completed. I think that was Bogart again on the catch. He's a little slow to get up. He's been doing a lot today. It was Dylan Bogart that he completed that pass to the 5-yard line.
Down.
And it's first down.
On that play, Matt elected to throw it to Dylan, but he had a man who looked like wide open.
He's thrown it to only one other receiver besides Bogart all game long.
It looked like he had a man wide open right behind Dylan. It seemed almost like the exact same play that we saw down here where you get a man running up the left side of the field. This time it's the right side of the field on a streak route, and then you have Dylan running a deep corner route to that same side of the field.
They're in the I formation. Scott, the running back, they give it to him. Scott's going to go into the end zone. No, they're going to mark him down at the 1. He flipped into the end zone. I thought that was a touchdown for sure.
Yeah, I thought he flipped into the end zone there. He got a pretty good block by his fullback leading him into the end zone there, the promised land.
Must have had a knee down.
Right there to pay dirt. Well, looks like they might try the same play again, I would say. They're on the half-yard line, second down and goal in the I formation. Credit under center, Scott, the running back. Fisher, the fullback. And this time Scott walks into the end zone for another Hurricane touchdown.
A great blocks up front on that heavy I formation set. It wasn't a mystery what the Hurricane was going to do on that play. They have all their big blockers in. They only have one wide out. They put in their tight ends and the rest are offensive linemen, and they just punch it in for the score there, 1 yard out.
Well, with 1:35 left until halftime, Wilmington up 30-0 pending this extra point from Ben Constant. Matt Credit in the hold it. Constant to kick it at the 10. Snap's good. Kick end over end. And it is good. Our score with 1:35 left until halftime. Wilmington shutting out the Indians 31-0. Again, ladies and gentlemen, it is Ethan Rudd, A.J. Ganger here alongside Rick Phillips for this SCOL conference matchup between the Wilmington Hurricane and the Hillsboro Indians here at Richards Memorial Field, live on WALHradio.com. Ben Constant will be in to kick this one off. Back to return it is number 28, Braden Wiley, and number 81, Ryan LeMaster. Do you see another squib kick here, you think?
You never can tell with Wilmington, but yeah, it'd be a safe bet to go with the squib kick.
I mean, there's 1:35 left. We've seen Constant be able to kick it deep. I mean, these returners are only staying on their 15. If Constant wants to kick it deep, he's going to kick it back there in the back of the end zone. And here goes the kickoff from Constant, another squib kick. Bouncing into the arms of an up man, and he is mid hard. Look at that tackle. Number 58 on that tackle, Mark Huff, for this Wilmington return team, or Wilmington kicking team.
That was a textbook tackle, too. Heads up, wraps up the ball carrier, and just brings him down. Good, clean tackle. Good hard hit.
Yep, and Hillsboro is going to take over on their own 36-yard line with 90 seconds left to play in our first half. We see them try to go down and score again, or do we,
They have to try to go down and score again. They have to get some points up on the board, down 31 points in the first half. They have to get some momentum behind them.
5 wide receivers, 4 out here to the left, 1 out to the right. Warrington, the quarterback for Hillsboro. Looks like early movement, but it's a no call. Warrington, the pass, floats one up, and he got his foot in bounds. That's a nice play to number 81, Ryan LeMaster. And it's a first down for the Indians. Nice little floating pass. He had no one around him.
Yeah, Warrington showed a lot of confidence in his receiver to be able to break open. He lofted that ball into him, and he got a foot down in bounds. He made the catch in bounds.
I think that's the second catch he's came up like that. This time 5 wide receivers, and 4 of them are out to the right, 1 to the left. Warrington's going to roll out to the right this time. Fires, and it's picked up! Oh, my goodness. Look at that, Garrett Scott.
What
See
a
you later.
play.
Take
What
it to
a play.
Painter. Touchdown. Hurricane. That's the second turnover that Scott has picked up. This time he runs it in for 6.
It looked like it was a pass to him.
Nope. Yeah, that's his second touchdown of the game. His first one was on offense. The second one, defense.
Really almost a comical play there. He tries to roll out to his right. He's looking for his check down man who's running an out route towards the sideline, an in route towards the sideline. But Garrett Scott's right there in his face. He ends up passing it to the wrong guy.
Yep.
Jeez.
Yep, constant in to attempt the extra point and credit the holder after the long interception return by Garrett Scott. Nice snap kick end over end, and Constant puts another one in as Wilmington takes the lead with minute 13 seconds left to play in the first half. They extend it to 38-0.
Going back to that last play on defense, it kind of leaves you shaking your head. They try to get their quarterback Warrington rolled out right so he can throw an easy in route towards the sideline and get the receiver out of bounds to stop the clock. But he's pressured almost immediately by Garrett Scott, and as he's rolling out, Garrett Scott's right there in his face. And just to illustrate what happens, he throws the ball, and Garrett Scott just jumps up in the air and takes it away from him.
Widely and LeMaster are back to return this kickoff for Hillsboro, and Constant will kick it off from his own 40-yard line.
Massey continues to shut out McLean 50-0.
I still can't wait for that Wilmington-Massey game
This
in
is going to
October.
be interesting. This will be interesting.
That one at Clinton-Massey, that's going to be the game that everyone's going to want to listen to. But we still got plenty more games to listen to here on WALHradio.com. Constant this time kicks it deep. It bounces out of bounds. That's his second kick today that Constant's kicked out of bounds. And Hillsboro's going to take over on its own 35-yard line after the penalty. And they will take over with a minute 13 left to play in our first half. We saw them have one great play on that last drive, followed by their second turnover of the game, which was an interception. Garrett Scott, like you said, he was all over that quarterback's face there on that blitz.
Yeah, down by 31 points at that point in the game, now down by 38. They try to be a little more aggressive and put the ball in the air. Putting the ball in the air, though, there's always more of a chance of a turnover. More things can go wrong. It can get tipped. It can get batted. It can get intercepted on that play. You saw it get picked off and run back for a pick 6.
Well, and let's face it, there's no running game left in this game. They're going to have to be primarily passing. They may run just occasionally to keep the defense honest, but it's going to be a passing game from here on out.
First down and 10-eye formation. He is met as soon as he got that ball. And number 31, Andy Fisher on the tackle for Wilmington. Number 30 with the carry was Lane Hester. It's second down and 10 as this clock is now under 60 seconds. At least 2 more plays. The clock stays running.
The Indians' offensive line on that play and on the past couple of series we've seen haven't gotten a good initial push off of the line of scrimmage in the running game, and they also haven't been able to drop their hips back and try to protect the quarterback.
Coming up here is the halftime show in just about 40 seconds. Warrington hands this one off to number 22 this time, and he's met by number 45, Austin Thompson at the line of scrimmage. Number 22, Garrett Baldridge
Hillsboro
on
electing
the play.
Sorry there, AJ. Hillsboro electing to play pretty conservative on that play. Looks like they're going to let the clock run out. They're just electing to run the ball. I guess they don't want to turn the ball over, right before halftime again.
They don't even have to run another play. They can just take this one straight to the locker room. They're going to try to run another play. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. They're in the I formation. 2 receivers out to the right. They get the play off. This one goes to number 22, and Garrett Scott is there to bring him down as Garrett Baldridge was on the carry. That will take us to halftime, Ethan. Our score at the end of our first half, Wilmington 38 and Hillsboro 0. We'll be right back in just a few seconds with our halftime show live from Richards Memorial Field. Welcome back here on WALHradio.com. I'm AJ Ganger alongside Ethan Rudd. Rick Phillips kind of disappeared somewhere. He probably went to go get something to eat. Like he needs to eat something. We're here live at Richards Memorial Field here in Hillsboro, Ohio for the first SCOL conference game between the Wilmington Hurricane and the Hillsboro Indians. It looks like Wilmington's band's getting ready to take the field. What is your big takeaway from that first half, Ethan, from Wilmington?
It's been a tale of two very different offenses and two very different defenses. Wilmington's offense was able to get out there and make the big plays. The Indians were not able to make the big plays. They've been held to a pretty conservative list of play calls. They can't run the ball because they can't get any initial push off of their offensive line. Mosley's bouncing off of his own offensive lineman because they're getting pushed off the ball the second it snaps.
Well, Wilmington's offense, they've been playing great all day. They've got 2 turnovers from their defense, a fumble recovered, Garrett Scott. And then just before halftime, the interception returned for a touchdown by Garrett Scott. This kid's been all over the field. But another kid I think, we're going to talk about is not Matt Credit this time. It's Dylan Bogart. He's caught the ball at least 6 times from Credit. And Credit, that's his favorite receiver. He's only thrown to 2 other guys besides Dylan. And Dylan's been not only playing great on offense, but great on defense as well.
Dylan's found a way to get open on this offense, getting open on the one-on-one coverages. He's been beating his man. He's been running good routes. And on defense, he's been able to keep up with his man on those man-on-man coverages. He's been able to do a good job getting his head turned around, being ready to make that play, and make a play on the ball. And we've even seen him return the ball pretty well, showing good patience, waiting for his blockers to get out in front of him and make some plays downfield.
Rick, what can you tell me? What do you take away from the first half?
Well, one of the things that I'll tell you right now is that we know we're going to see a lot more passing in the second half. And Hillsboro, they're getting a little bit of a blow here at halftime, but their defense has got to be tired. I mean, let's face it, they were on the field a lot more than their offense was this first half. So I would say in the second half, Hillsboro's going to have to they're going to have to figure something out. It's going to have to be some methodical, march up the field for a score or something, because right now, with a goose egg on the board, there's not much to take away from the Hillsboro side of the ball there.
And, Wilmington hasn't put up a shutout all season yet. I mean, we even saw that West Carrollton, they, drove down the field in the fourth quarter to even put 6 points up on the board. Do we get a shutout from Wilmington's defense tonight?
I think it'll depend on if the Indians are able to make any adjustments during halftime. West Carrollton, when they came out in the second half, it was really what set them apart in the second half is that they weren't able to make adjustments until the last couple drives. They put in a different quarterback and they started passing the ball down the field. So are we going to see the Indians come out with a more predicated attack focused on the passing game? Is it going to be balanced? I don't know.
Yeah, I would say at this point, I don't foresee them replacing their quarterback with another quarterback. So I don't think we're going to see that similarity as far as in the West Carrollton game. But one thing's for certain, they have not figured out this Wilmington offense. And until they can do that, we're going to continue to see that goose egg on the board.
Well, I mean, last week we saw Wilmington playing Vandalia, and Vandalia is a really good Division I school. They're 1-2 this season. Their 2 losses came heartbreakingly, I would say. They lost to 1 point against Tecumseh, and then last week the 4-point loss to Wilmington in the last minute. This is a different Wilmington team than we saw last week. Their defense is staying fresh. Like you said, this offense is wearing down Hillsboro's defense. But I mean, Rick, from your standpoint, it looks like Wilmington took that test last week, and they bettered themselves this week to get to this ball game.
Well, it's like I said last week. I said you see Wilmington, they will bend, they don't break. And even when they make a mistake, they can come right back. Or when they get down, like they were last week, each time they were down, they had a plan to come back. They had some kind of remedy for being down. Now, of course, they don't have that same situation here because they're up by 38 points. And I don't foresee much of any change that Hillsboro is going to be able to deploy to make a big difference in how this game ends.
Well, guys, tomorrow, Wilmington, the Fighting Quakers, they're going to play Capital in Capital tomorrow, and we don't get a broadcast of Wilmington College game until the next week. Next weekend they play I can't remember.
Otterbein.
They play Otterbein next weekend. That's family weekend, and they're celebrating 100 years of football at Wilmington. They've been struggling over the years, and Coach Hairston is very optimistic about this team, as we heard last night from Coach Hairston at the Wilmington College Sports Show at Austin's Casual Eatery. We also heard Bud Lewis there talking about the Kiwanis soccer tournament that's coming up soon. I think is it this weekend that tournament's happening?
Yeah, when I left campus, tournament was starting today. I think it's probably going to last more than one day.
I think it's today, and then tomorrow is when they're going to play. But guys, every Tuesday night, don't forget we come live for the Hurricane Sports Show at Generations Pizzeria in Wilmington, Ohio. Rick Phillips, myself, and Ethan Rudd is going to be there this week. We have Lee Hendy, who will talk a little bit of East Clinton sports. As East Clinton gets ready to take on Wilmington next week, guys, as that's going to be a dual broadcast. And Lee wants to talk about a shouting match. I think we got him beat right now. East Clinton really hasn't done anything all year either. It might be another ugly game.
Obviously there may be some attempt, but at this point, the last score we got was 8-0 Blue Lion. The Blue Lion, I don't think they've won a game in the last 2 seasons. So at this point, if they're ahead of East Clinton, once again, they're going to have a tough row to hoe against this defense and this incredible offense.
And Wilmington's the type of football team that they make you play their type of football because they love the big plays and they love asserting their front seven on defense.
And they always try to come out right at the beginning of the game and punch you in the mouth because then you reel back, whoa, you've been hit. And most of these teams, at least in 3 of the 4 games, they got hit in the mouth and they collapsed.
Well, guys, we're going to listen in to the Wilmington High School Band here for just a little bit. We will be back with you on the Hurricane Halftime Show live from Richards Memorial Field.
And just to give you an update on the score, it is Washington Courthouse. The Blue Lions lead East Clinton 8-0 at the half. We'd like to remind you that tonight's game is brought to you by Bill Marine Ford Chrysler Plymouth Dodge and Jeep. They are proud sponsors for Hurricane Football on WALHradio.com. They offer new car lines as well as quality, reconditioned used cars. Stop by at 1182 West Main Street in Wilmington, next to the fairgrounds, or call the friendly staff at 937-382-3858 for great new and used cars and service on your current vehicle. That's Bill Marine Ford, Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep, 1182 West Main Street in Wilmington, Ohio. And by Bogart's Barbecue, 975 South Street, Wilmington, Ohio. That's the home of the world-famous Southern Barbecue. At Beauregard's Southern Barbecue, serving the best tasting barbecue is our reason for being. Stop by our location, enjoy our fall-off-the-bone tender meats, savory sides, and delicious desserts. We'd be mighty pleased to have you. Barbecue the best way, right there in Wilmington, Ohio. And they remind you, go Canes.
Let me tell you something. Barbecue sounds really good right now, guys. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here on WALHradio.com. My name is AJ Ganger. I'm here with Rick Phillips and Ethan Rudd, and we are here at Richards Memorial Field in Hillsboro, Ohio, as the Hillsboro Indians are taking on the Wilmington Hurricane. It's 38-0 here at halftime. We were supposed to have Drew Hastings here on the halftime show. I don't know what happened to that.
Well, maybe he was called back to Hollywood or whatever. Or maybe there was a mayor's emergency.
Yeah, maybe. That's kind of disappointing. I was looking
or, you know, I don't know what number he wears, but he may be suiting up after halftime.
He may be suiting up to go out there and, you know, put a hurt into the Hurricane defense. I don't know, though. At his age, he might just turn to dust if he got hit. Well, Ethan, reiterate on your keys to the game for both teams and tell me what Wilmington has done right and tell me what Hillsboro has done wrong.
At the beginning of this game, I said both of these teams were going to have to come in here and win the man-on-man matchups, especially Hillsboro, because Wilmington loves going deep on deep post routes, deep corner routes, and go routes. And so far, they've lost those man-on-man matchups, and that's how Wilmington, for the most part, have scored a lot of their points while playing offense. On the flip side of the ball, we've seen Wilmington win their man-on-man matchups, especially Dylan. He's done a great job on all three sides of the ball, special teams, defense, and offense. But especially on defense, he's done a great job of playing man-on-man football coverage.
Yeah, coverage.
Yeah.
What has Hillsboro done wrong? What did your keys? I'm looking down here at your keys, and it's like, what has Hillsboro done wrong?
One of the keys that I wrote down before this game was that Hillsboro was going to have to play physical up front on both sides of the ball. And there in the second quarter, I think Hillsboro's offensive line really got tired because they haven't been able to pop out of their stances and protect their quarterback or open up lanes for their running back. Really, they've lost that initial step after the snap, and Mosley's been bouncing off of his own guys and getting tackled at the line of scrimmage or for 1 or 2 yard gains.
Well, let's talk a little bit about college football. I know we don't do any of the major college football. What is one matchup tomorrow in the NCAA that you're looking forward to seeing tomorrow?
I think I'm a little biased because Cincinnati's my hometown, so I'm looking at UC Miami. UC having their homecoming game, the Ring of Red tomorrow.
You know, UC plays Ohio State next week, and I heard UC, from a little birdie, I heard UC has the second best quarterback in the nation. Now, if that is true, the way Ohio State's been playing, the way the Big Ten is, I could see a big shocking upset come next week.
Gunnar Q.
You never know.
Did you see the Kent State game?
Yeah, I saw the Kent State game, but Cincinnati's not Kent State.
No. They're more like Hillsboro.
Well, I mean, my
I used
team.
to live
You
in Mount
guys
Adams,
are giving me crap about my team. I'm a Michigan fan, but tomorrow I'm worried about them. They play Utah. I mean, that's going to be a big game for them. They got to show me something if I'm going to continue to just.
Well, they did
be
so well
surprised,
against Notre
be
Dame.
Excited for their season. I mean, I've always been excited for Michigan football, but this year again, it's kind of like Brady Hoke's a big letdown. They need to let him go. If he doesn't beat Ohio State this year, he's fired. Let's be honest.
Probably so.
We want John Cooper to come back and coach at Ohio State, but it's not going to happen.
You mean Michigan fans want that?
I've wanted that for years. Ever since Jim Tressel was coaching there, I wanted Cooper to go back, take his job.
Maybe Tressel should go up to Michigan, show them how to play football.
You know how that would be kind of funny. I think Tressel's kind of like a Woody Hayes. Woody Hayes wouldn't be caught dead coaching in Michigan.
That's right. Tressel's, he's definitely all Ohio.
Are there any other big games in the world of college sports that you're looking forward to? I think Florida State plays a big game tomorrow, and I can't think of who they play. I'll have to look at it real quick.
I can't think of any big college games off the top of my head right now, but that's probably just because I haven't looked.
Right.
One of the big games that I'm looking forward to is a game that I'm going to be going to in Paul Brown Stadium. The Titans are coming in town to take on the Bengals. Bengals, I think, are going to be 4-0 after this week. They've shown a lot of improvement under Hugh Jackson, I think, in that offense. An offense that's been predicated off of the running game of Jeremy Hill and Giovanni Bernard.
The Bengals, they did play pretty good against Atlanta. You know, Atlanta last night, they ran all over Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay is kind of like Hillsboro here tonight.
I think that the Bengals definitely have a team this year. And, you know, looking back to their Super Bowl days when they had those two good teams, particularly the defense, and that obviously is, they've got a great defense. And Andy Dalton is maturing, so I think that, you know, there's a lot of improvement there in the Bengals. I don't really have a dog in that fight because I'm more of a Cowboys fan, and they're pathetic.
Oh, that makes it even worse.
They're almost like Michigan.
Well, I mean, I can't say I don't like an Ohio team when it comes to pro football. I'm a Browns fan. I've always been a Browns fan.
Except that the real Browns are in Baltimore.
The real Browns are in Baltimore?
Right.
Jeez,
Right.
I can't believe you said that. Well, Wisconsin this week's got to play Bowling Green, and Bowling Green just beat Indiana, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Big Ten lost another game like that.
I doubt
know
that
it's not
Bowling
gonna
Green's
happen,
going to
but
beat
I wouldn't
Wisconsin.
be surprised. Let's see who else we got playing this week. Oh, this is a big game in the SEC. Alabama taking on Florida. Florida struggled last week, and I think they went to triple overtime with Kentucky. But Kentucky just didn't want to win that ball game. It seemed like there. Did you watch that game?
That's right. That was a giveaway.
Yeah, that was a great game. Another great game from last week was Penn State and Rutgers. Rutgers opened their first Big Ten Conference game. Rutgers held Penn State off the scoreboard the entire game. It was like 5 minutes left in the game is when Christian Hackenberg and the Nifty Lions scored 13 points to pull out a victory against Rutgers. And really disappointing Rutgers in their Big Ten opener. But, I mean, that's the way it happens in Big Ten football.
Yeah, and that's some of these new teams in the Big Ten. It doesn't even look like the Big Ten anymore.
Well, I mean, in Maryland, they had a heartbreaking loss against West Virginia, too.
Right. That was a
field
tough
goal.
game. That was a tough game.
Florida State plays Clemson tomorrow. That's going to be a good game, along with Nebraska taking on Miami, the Hurricanes of Miami. That's going to be another big game.
That'll be a telling game because Nebraska really hadn't played anybody, but, you know, they could possibly be maybe a sleeper team.
Well, as the Hillsboro Band is finishing up here at Richards Memorial Stadium, we got just about 2 minutes until the second half. You want to do what Jake did and make a score prediction? How many more points is Wilmington going to score?
Going to be more than 10, right?
Going to be more than 10, obviously. My spread's off. I just lost $12,000. I wish.
We want to remind you that tonight's game is brought to you by Wilmington Savings Bank. It's your hometown banking solution located at 184 North South Street near downtown Wilmington. Phone them at 937-382-1659 or stop by and visit Tom Burns and the friendly staff there at Wilmington Savings. They have expanded internet banking and bill paying solutions, personal and business accounts, and lending services are available too. That's Wilmington Savings Bank, 184 North South Street in good old Wilmington, Ohio.
Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, this every Tuesday night live from Generations Pizzeria in Wilmington, Ohio. We have the Hurricane Sports Show. Me, Rick, and Ethan will be there this Tuesday night.
We had some killer pizza this last
We did
because
have
Lee
some killer-
paid for it.
Lee
That was the
paid
good
for
thing.
it. Yeah, I think he even
It's
paid.
always
For,
better.
he even paid for my beer and didn't realize it.
Well, I give Rachel so much
You know.
hassle there, I had to give her a tip anyway.
Right. If I had some cash, I would have laid some cash down on the table. But, I mean, then we got that. The Astros Sports Show there in Sabina will take place Wednesday night at 7 p.m. And the Wilmington College Sports Show live from Austin's Casual Eatery there in downtown Wilmington, Ohio, where Amir, the sports information guy over at the college, will be sitting down with Stacey Hairston. Unfortunately, I won't. But, you know, I think Coach Kellen here at the Hurricanes is going to be on our show next week. This week, Amir had Hairston, Matt Stooksbury, a senior for the Quaker team, and you also had Bud Lewis, the head soccer coach, men's soccer coach for Wilmington, Ohio. And we're trying to get more students out there. We had a giveaway this week. The Wilmington athletic director and his wife, they won a nice Wilmington mug answering a question. The question was, name the 4 mascots. There are 4 teams in Clinton County at high schools. Name the 4 mascots. And she got it right. It was the Hurricane of Wilmington, the Falcons of Clinton Massey, the Astros of East Clinton, and the Wildcats of Blanchester. Here's your 4 Clinton County teams. I think Wilmington only plays 2 of those because Blanchester's not in the SCOL anymore.
Right.
They're in the SBAC,
Yeah,
which I would like to give a shout-out to because that was my old conference.
I can't give a shout-out to my conference. I mean, the cross-country conference, Covington and Miami East.
Well, my old conference is so old, no one remembers the Western Ohio League before it was
That
the
was the
G-Walk.
G-Walk.
Yeah, right.
We had a G-Walk team last week as Wilmington took on Vandalia Butler. Wilmington is going to look like it's going to improve to 4-0 with the performance here tonight. There's still, 24 minutes left in this ball game. You can never sleep on a team. But, I mean, Hillsboro, they're still 2-1 on the season. They're trying to become 3-1. This conference loss obviously is going to hurt them when it comes playoff time. Wilmington, a Division III playoff team, when they meet a Division IV playoff team in Clinton Massey here in a few weeks there in Massey. That's going to be the big game. The next broadcast we have for you will come your way next Friday, live from East Clinton High School. Game scheduled to start at 7:30. We go live at 7:15.
We're going to go head-to-head with our little sister broadcasters, right?
Yep, we're going to go head-to-head with Lee Hendy and whoever else he's got on the broadcast.
We're like
team.
the fraternity, and they're the sorority of,
Yep.
the station.
We're the big brothers and their little sisters. And then Wilmington goes back home finally for the homecoming game on October 3rd when they play the Blue Lions of Washington Courthouse. And then on the 10th of October is their cancer awareness game as they play Miami Trace. And then the big game everyone's waiting for is October 17th at Clinton Massey High School as Wilmington will take on the defending Division IV state champions, McLean. We will travel to McLean on October the 24th for the Hurricanes matchup with McLean. And then we close out the year on Halloween when Wilmington takes on Chillicothe.
But, once again, it may be that we'll be in the playoffs, so we hope to extend our season.
Yes, I would love to do some playoff games, ladies and gentlemen. Well, the teams are getting all warmed up here for the second half. The Zebras down on the field. They're talking a little bit. Wait, did I see Zebras? I mean referees.
Yeah, they were up here chowing down on chili in the
They had some
in the
chili.
press
I was
box
told
there.
the chili's kind of hot.
Yeah.
There's some hot dogs in it, I saw.
Oh, did they?
But the coaches over here, they got.
I was going to say the coaches.
Looks like Coach Brown's over there munching down on some chili.
Rice or chili, or there's a bagel in there.
A bagel in there with some cheese on top.
Right. Yeah.
Good old Ohio cooking. Gotta love Ohio cooking. I mean,
Yeah. Especially that Cincinnati chili, right?
That's right.
I don't know what it is, but I'm feeling some wings from B-Dubs. Every Friday and Saturday, I'm like, I want some wings from B-Dubs.
I think my son Preston, he left. Decided to leave at halftime since it was 38-0. But I think that's where he headed since his girlfriend's a manager there. I figure he's probably going to be in there watching whatever sports is on the big screens.
Right. Well, Wilmington got the ball to begin our ball game. The Indians are going to get the ball here to begin the second half as number 28, Braden Wiley, and number 81, Ryan Lamaster, will be back deep to return Ben Constant's kickoff. And we may see another squib kick because the last 2 kickoffs that we've seen from Ben Constant, or we've seen him kick the ball out of bounds twice.
Yeah, it's probably the safer bet to go with the squib kick out here. You want to avoid that penalty. Plus, the bad thing about that penalty, kicking it out of bounds, is that they get pretty good starting field position out of that.
But Wilmington has won the field position battle all game long. I think their worst starting field position has been the 20-yard line, but everything else, they're up near the 40 and into Indian territory. We've seen, a couple good punt returns by Dylan Bogart out there. So, I mean, it's not like Wilmington's not winning the field goal battle.
And really, for the most part, it seems like Wilmington is winning the field position battle because they're stopping the Indians' offense. The Indians just aren't getting anything going on offense.
Well, it looks like we have a new kicker out there for Wilmington. This guy just wants to try everything. Garrett Scott is going to be kicking off for Wilmington to begin the second half.
Why not be an ace of all trades?
Ace of all trades? That was jack of all trades.
I think it's Jack.
He's an ace. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, to begin our second half from Richards Memorial Field. High pooch kick bounces at the 28 and fielded by LeMaster, and he's drugged down at the 29-yard line. About a 4-yard return. Fisher on the stop alongside number 45, Austin Thompson. And that is where Hillsboro's offense will take over first down and 10. We do have a running clock now. Once the score gets above, I think the league gets above 35 in the second half, they have a running clock.
Right, and we just got a score. The Massey Falcons are leading, I think it's 64-0 now over McLean.
That's got to hurt. Pistol formation. Number 20 is going to keep this one. Toby Warrington, and Warrington is brought down. They had trips out to the right that time. No gain on the play, and it's going to be second down and 10 yards to go for the Indians.
Yeah, at this point in the game, I think if Warrington's going to make a play, it's going to have to be through the air, not with his legs.
I mean, we've seen him make a couple good throws on the, to only where his receivers are going to be able to catch it. And, that's what you want to do as a quarterback when you're going to throw in tight coverage. Wilmington plays very tight coverage, and, they just couldn't capitalize on those big plays and score a touchdown. We got 5 wide receivers now for Warrington, 4 out here to the left, 1 out to the right. Warrington going to roll out and pass this one, fires this one up in the air, and a nice play. That one just hung up there way too long. Number 31, Andy Fisher, was on the coverage. Pass intended for Ryan LeMaster, number 81.
Looked like he had his back to him when he tipped the ball away.
Eyes in the back of his head. That was a good job by Fisher there to, get across the field as fast as he did. Almost picked that one off. We got third down and 10 to go for the Indians now. We're going to line up again in 5 wide, 4 out to the left, 1 out to the right. Warrington, the quarterback, takes the snap. He's going to roll out here to the right or left again. He's going to fire one up. Almost picked off that time. Andy Fisher had it in his hand, along with number 6, Robbie Clark. And it's going to bring up 4th down, and in comes R.J. Callard. And this time, back to return the punt is going to be number 3, my bad, Brad Keller for the Hurricane.
This is exactly what Hillsboro didn't want to do. Their defense is going to be back on the field again. I know that they had a little bit of a breather there at halftime, but they've got to be beat.
It's a high spiraling kick, and the ball bounces at the 40-yard line, takes a Wilmington bounce. There is a flag, though, back at the line of scrimmage. We're going to have to see what this one is. Holding against Wilmington. And that one is going to probably be tacked on at the end of the run. And Wilmington will take over after the penalty on their own 30-yard line, 1st and 10. Do we see the second stringers coming in now, guys?
It might be just a tidbit early yet.
Yeah, I'd say 4th quarter maybe. Not the 3rd quarter.
We're eventually going to see them. That last incompletion that Warrington threw was a really impressive play by number 9, Branson Newbury. He was lined up on a man coming out of the slot on Tripp's left, and he came off of his own man to run back deep, and he helped get a play on that ball too.
There's some bugs in here. Well, here comes the Hurricane offense. Matt Credit still in at quarterback. Looks like Jerry Johns is finally in the game for Wilmington. He's going to be the tailback. 2 receivers out to the right. Johns going to get the carry, and he's met at the line of scrimmage, but he falls forward to the 30-yard line. He's going to gain about 2 yards at 2nd and 8.
That was Massey 60-0. That's what they lead by.
60-0.
Well, they might be watching the Wilmington scoreboard too, because obviously they're seeing the same thing we are here in a few weeks.
In the pistol formation again, Credit, the quarterback, Johns, the running back. 2 receivers out to the right. Credit this time back to pass. He's got all the time in the world. He's going to fire this one up for Andy Ely, and it's overthrown over his head. Just a little too much touch on that pass. Number 7, Ryan Hagan, was on the coverage for the Indians. And it's going to be 3rd down and 8 yards to go for the Hurricane. They need to get to the 37-yard line for a first down. About 7.5 minutes to play here in our third quarter. Stay tuned for after our ball game this evening for the Hurricane Sports Show here live on WALHradio.com. Pistol formation for Credit. 3 receivers out to the right, 1 out to the left. John's the running back. He's going to block. Back to passes. Credit, and it's completed. He almost dropped that ball. Number 88 on the catch, Alex Miller. He bobbled it a little bit, but still got a first down.
Finds his tight end on that deep out route towards the sideline. And it's a good play finding an open man in the coverage like that. We've seen them go to that play a couple times.
It's going to be 1st down and 10 for Wilmington on their own 47-yard line. Matt Credit in as quarterback in the pistol formation. They're getting the play from the sideline. Jerry Johns is still in there at the running back position. 2 receivers are going to be out here to the right, 1 to the left. Credit in the pistol. There's the toss to Johns. He strings it out on the far sideline, gets across the 45, and trying to reach midfield, but he's going to be stopped shy at the 49-yard line.
Mark Huff was the pulling guard in that play, and he must have gone 10 yards downfield, pulling from his original guard spot and getting out there on that pitch to block. That was a great hustle play by him.
I mean, these offensive linemen, they've been moving all night long. They opened up running lanes. I mean, there's only been a couple times that Wilmington's actually not been able to run the ball, and that was earlier in the beginning of the ball game.
Yeah, Wilmington's offensive line has done a good job at keeping at it. On the other side of the ball, the Indians' offensive line seems tired and beat up.
Pistol formation. Scott in at the backfield this time. Scott's going to get the carry on the right side, bulldozing his way across the 45 to the Hillsboro 44-yard line, and we are going to have a 3rd and inches, it looks like, for Wilmington. Hurry up offense I formation. Offset I. Credit the keeper on the play, and he's going to get across to the 41-yard line to pick up 4 yards, more than enough than he needed for another Wilmington first down.
At this point in the game, Wilmington can play a little more conservatively with the ball. They can run the ball. Basically, they can do whatever they want, but we've actually seen them be aggressive on this drive and throw it deep.
About 5 minutes remaining here in our third quarter. Again, we have an alternate clock. Once the game gets to a 35 or more point lead, the clock begins to run here in the second half. Credit is in the pistol. Fisher is to his left. 2 receivers out to the left. Johns in at running back. Play action, rolling out his Credit, firing, and it's incomplete. Intended for Andy Fisher, and it's 2nd down and 10.
I almost wonder if there was a bit of miscommunication on that play because Andy Fisher and Miller, the tight end, ended up running in the same area of the field. They're almost right on top of each other. That's something you don't want to do because that just attracts more defenders.
Right. It's going to be 2nd down and 10 for the Hurricane offense. 2 receivers are going to line up here to the right, 1 out on the far sideline to the left. Make that 2. Fisher's going to go out to the left. In the pistol formation is Credit. Behind him, Jerry Johns. Credit. Quick pass. Completed. Oh, no, it's incomplete. That boy had that ball in his hands. Number 20, Austin Camp, was the intended receiver. That was a nice pass right at the letter. He just dropped it.
Good job setting his feet and planting and throwing the ball down the field and hitting that quick slant.
I know it's 38-0, but you still got to catch those balls whether you're on offense or on defense.
Right, yeah. You still got to make plays. You still got to run the clock out. It's a running clock, so the longer this Wilmington offense can hang on to the ball, the better it is for the Wilmington Hurricane defense.
And I got a special shout-out for Matt Credit's aunt, Pat Credit. I'm very proud of him, as we all are.
On third down, Credit in the pistol formation. 2 receivers each side. Credit back to pass. Pump fakes, fires one deep down the field, and it's snagged away, and he's going to take it to the board. Andy Ely on the catch. Did you guys see that play? Touchdown, Hurricane.
AJ, it's radio. They didn't see it.
I was talking to him. I was talking to Ethan.
Well, I definitely saw that play. That was a great play. Great touch on the pass, but it was also a great route by the receiver on that play. Double move. Gets the man-on-man coverage every time, and he runs down the field, and he catches that ball. He snagged that ball out of the air. Way to go up and get that ball. What a catch.
Credit's finally not throwing the ball to Dylan Bogart. We haven't seen him in here yet. They're in the second half. Ben Constant in to attempt the extra point. Credit the holder. Good snap. Kicks up end over end, and this one is good. No good. The kick was no good. I thought it looked good off his foot. Our score with 3 minutes and 1 second remaining in our third quarter. Wilmington 44 and Hillsboro 0.
Even though Wilmington can afford to play more conservatively on offense, we saw them go play action, and we also saw them pass deep on that drive. So they're taking what the defense gives them pretty much. The Indians are sneaking guys up to the line of scrimmage to stop the run because they have a lead blocker in there in the pistol now, an offset back, along with the single back behind Credit. But Wilmington's just going to take what they give you, and they're still going to be aggressive no matter what part of the game it's in.
Exactly. Number 28, Braden Widely, and number 81, Ryan Lemaster will be back to return Ben Constant's kickoff as we see Constant back in to perform the kickoff. And the kick is away from Constant. This one deep. Fielded at the 10-yard line by number 28, Braden Widely. He's across the 25 and is shoved out of bounds at their own 29. And that is where Hillsboro will take over, first down and 10.
It has to be frustrating getting shut out at home under the Friday night lights. And the Indians have just done that. They've gotten shut out 44-0 so far. They're going to have to make some plays on this drive.
Clock now about 2 minutes and 30 seconds and counting. Left in our third quarter here this evening. We've seen a great bounce-back game from Wilmington last week on their first test as they played Vandalia Butler. And in their first conference game of the year, they're looking mighty tough. And it's going to be it looks like it might be a two-team conference come the end of the year with Clinton Massey and Wilmington. And the pistol formation is Warrington. Mosley's going to be behind him, 2 receivers each side. Mosley takes the handoff across the 30 and down across inside the 35 to the 36. We got a first down for Hillsboro. Correction, it's going to be short, second down and 1.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an important drive. Obviously, the offense has to stay on the field and give that defense a rest. Or from here on out, we may see that goose egg.
Pistol formation again, 2 receivers each side. Play action. This time Warrington keeps it. Strings it out across the 40, across the 45, and gets out of bounds at the 47-yard line, and it's an Indian first down.
That was a good read by Warrington, keeping the ball on that play and stretching the play out. Run to his left and picking up some yards because the blitz was on, and he faked it to his back, and his back got tackled immediately. It was a good read seeing the defender, not only the defensive end, but the linebacker blitzing.
Those big hog mollies of the men in black defense have a shutout right now. But Hillsboro looks like they're going to want to put some points on the board. They're in the pistol formation again, 2 receivers out to the right and the left. Warrington and Mosley in the backfield. Warrington, quick screen play here to this sideline to number 28. Completed to Brendan Wiley. Loss of about a yard on that little swing pass. It's going to be second down and 11.
Yeah, when the defense is in tight man coverage like that, you'll see screen plays blown up behind the line of scrimmage like that because there's just not enough room to run after that screen play is set up.
Second down and 11 yards to go. This is probably our last play of our third quarter. We got trips out to the right, 1 receiver down here to the left. Warrington in at quarterback in the pistol. Mosley the running back. Mosley gets the handoff and is tripped up by a blade of grass. Gain of about 3 yards, and that's going to take us to the end of our third quarter. Our score, the Wilmington Hurricane 44 and the Hillsboro Indians 0. Well, we got to thank some more of our sponsors here this evening. How about you read one of these, Ethan?
This is to make sure you're not just a pretty face. We want to see if you can really read the copy.
Well, we'd like to thank Beauregard's Barbecue for sponsoring our show tonight. That's on 975 South Street, Wilmington, Ohio. It's the home of the world-famous Southern Barbecue. Come to Beauregard's Southern Barbecue. It's serving the best taste in barbecue, and you can stop by their location to enjoy our fall off the bone, tender meats, savory sides, and delicious desserts. They'd be mighty pleased to have you. You can also call them at 937-655-8100 to check out their menu, or if you have any questions, just give them a shout out.
Not bad. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
That was my first time.
That's
I guess
right. It was cold.
Yeah, I need practice.
You didn't even know you were going to have to do this, did you?
Right, yeah.
Well, here we go. We're beginning our fourth quarter of play here. Hillsboro has the ball, third down and 8 yards to go, and the pistol with trips out to the right. Warrington, the quarterback, he's going to roll out here to the right. Under pressure. Nice block there by Mosley. Still rolling, fires. This one is completed to number 81, Ryan Lemaster on this sideline. He was hit hard out of bounds. It looked like right there by number 3.
Another first
Brad
down.
Keller, and it is that's right, Rick. It's a first down for the Indians as they're in the Wilmington territory probably for the third time in this ball game. Let's see if they can do something with it on the 41.
Heads up play by Ryan Lemaster there, working his way back to the quarterback. He saw his quarterback was in trouble and rolling out right. He worked his way back, made the catch on the sideline, and got out of bounds.
Trips out to the left. Warrington and a quarterback. Mosley, the running back behind him. One receiver to the right. It's a read option. The quarterback handed it off a little too late to Mosley. Is gobbled up in the backfield that time.
Loss of a couple.
There's a loss of about 2.
Yeah, I think Warrington was a little wary of handing the ball off there because it looked like he almost kept it himself. Mosley got spun around, taking that handoff.
Number 88, Alex Miller, was on the tackle. And it's going to be second down and 12 as we got trips out to the left here. One receiver out here to the right. Warrington, the quarterback, Mosley behind him. Straight drop back pass. Looking as Warrington fires, and it's incomplete, thrown behind his intended receiver, number 25, Latrell Hacecock. And there's a flag down on the far sideline. It's a dead ball, false start against the offense. And it's going to either be third down or second and long.
Yeah, on that play, Warrington was trying to hit his receiver running a streak up the right sideline. I think he adjusted his throw and threw it behind him so much because he saw the safety took the top off of that route. That's one of the things that Wilmington has done and the Indians haven't done is that they've kept the play in front of them, and that's largely been because of the play of their safeties.
Right. We got second down and 16 yards to go for Hillsboro. Trips out to the left. One receiver down to the right. Mosley in the backfield behind Warrington, the quarterback. Warrington jots back to pass. Fires one deep. Up one man-on-man coverage. And a nice play on the ball, but they're going to call interference on that. That was great coverage by number 9, Branson Newberry.
Yeah, there was a bit of jostling for position on that play.
I don't think that was a pass interference call, to be honest with you.
Well, it looked like both the players were sort of pushing each other. I don't see that there was any one real reason to throw a flag on that play.
I don't think there's a reason for that flag at all. I mean, yeah, he gave him a little shove, but the shove was after the pass was already there. Well, that's going to be pass interference, and it's going to bring up second down and 2 yards to go, along 2, it looks like, for Hillsboro. In high school, I learned this, that in high school, a pass interference penalty, if it's not an automatic first down, if it was second and like 20, they have to gain those yards, those extra yards for the first down. They're in the wishbone again. Mosley's going to get the handoff from Warrington. He spurs forward across the 30 down to the 28-yard line, and it's another Hillsboro first down.
Yeah, good job. He found just a little bit of a crack in the defense there, and he spurted forward for some positive yards.
Just about 8 minutes left to play in our game here tonight. Wilmington 44 and Hillsboro 0. Hillsboro's on a drive, though, right now. They're keeping that offense out on the field. They're on the flex bone again. Offset. Mosley, the running back. Back to pass, the straight drop back pass. Warrington fires another one up. Almost completed. It's another call. They're going to call him again.
Yeah, now that actually looked like interference that time. He pushed him.
That time he got the push off. Last time it didn't look like interference at all.
No. I mean, obviously what he was doing was he felt he got beat, so he was going to push him. He'd take the penalty rather than the touchdown.
Yeah, and that time he didn't have a safety over the top, helped him out on that play, so he was left alone on an island.
Yeah, Wilmington is going to take their first time out here of the second half. After the timeout, it's going to be first down and 10 from the 14-yard line. Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank our sponsor this evening. Bell Marine Ford Chrysler, Plymouth Dodge, and Jeep are proud sponsors for Hurricane Football on WALHradio.com. They offer great new car lines as well as quality reconditioned used cars. Stop by at 1182 West Main Street in Wilmington next to the fairgrounds, or call the friendly staff at 937-382-3858 for great new and used cars and service on your current vehicle. That's Bill Marine Ford, Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep, 1182 West Main Street, Wilmington, Ohio. Out of the timeout, we're in the flex bone again, first down and 10. Warrington hands it off to Mosley on the left, and Mosley's going down for maybe a yard, and that's going to bring up a second down and 9.
And we'd like to thank the good folks right here in Hillsboro for their hospitality hosting this game with us tonight. John Barney was very helpful as far as in getting us in here into the press box, everything set up and ready to go. We appreciate all the help from John.
And this is a very beautiful field here at Richards Memorial Field. We're kind of in a hill. You know, the scoreboard's up there on a hill, and these fans have been rocking all night long, even though it's a 44-0 game. Quads out to the left. Warrington in the shotgun, one receiver out to the right. He's going to roll out to the left. He's under pressure. Pump fakes, fires one in the end zone, and it's intercepted! Hurricane defense comes up with another turnover. That is their third turnover of the game for Hillsboro, the second interception, and we got two injured Indians down on the field. I couldn't see who intercepted that ball. I think they ran into each other.
Yeah, it looked like they ran into each other, and they were slow getting up, both of them.
Could you see who picked that ball off for Wilmington?
I did not, but the one thing that I did see is that there were a lot more white jerseys in that area than there were red jerseys.
Absolutely.
He hesitated on that throw, too. He pump faked when he probably should have just threw it or took off with it. You know,
yeah,
a lot of pressure there from
the best
the
thing
black defense.
Yeah, the best thing to do there was probably for Warrington just to throw it away.
Well, with 6 minutes, 27 seconds left in our ball game, Wilmington will take over from their own 9-yard line after the injured players come off the field. Coming off the field is number 25, Latrell Hathcock, along with Ryan Lamaster, who's been all over the field for this Hillsboro football organization here this evening.
Looks like our Hillsboro fans here are a little deflated. They were hoping that they would at least get a score here at the end of the game. It doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Matt Credit still in the ball game as quarterback, I formation. The ball is handed off to number, I think it was 31, Andy Fisher.
What we'll probably see here more is the run and the pass only if necessary. Keep it on the ground, run that clock down.
So a pickup of around 4 yards. It's going to be second down and 6 for the Hurricane as we are down under 6 here to play in our ball game this evening. Looks like Wilmington might actually come away with a shutout this week.
It's a big win for the defense. That's something to really brag about.
Yeah, I mean, they've been wanting the shutout teams all year long, and they finally get a chance here in their first conference game, and they do it. There's the handoff again up the middle by Credit. Gets out across the 25 to about the 25.5-yard line. Andy Fisher on the run for the Hurricane. It's going to bring up 3rd and 2. Wilmington still runs the no-huddle offense. They're just taking a little longer to get the play into their players here, kind of letting this clock run out, trying to make sure nothing is going to, get out of hand here in the last 5 minutes of this ball game, trying to keep everyone as healthy as they can for next week. You don't want to see anything ugly here towards the end of the ball game. Credit the pistol. Fisher the lone back. This time it's going to be handed off to the fullback, and he's going to be brought down in the backfield back at the 13-yard line for a loss. And that's going to bring up 4th and 5 for the Hurricane, and they're going to have to punt this one away. Couldn't move the ball, but they've ran some clock off here. LeMaster and number 12, Logan Leslie, are going to be back deep to receive Matt Credit's punt. He's going to be punting from around his 1-yard line, I should say.
And that means there's a decent chance for Hillsboro to get some good starting field position and maybe avoid a shutout at home.
Yep. Credit. It's a nice punt by Credit high. Spiraling kick fielded at the 48-yard line by number 81, Ryan LeMaster. Jukes a man out of his shoes. That was Andy Fisher. Got juked right out of his shoes. And he takes it out to the Wilmington 45-yard line, and that's where Hillsboro will take over. First down and 10 with 3:50 left to play in our ball game.
Did you say tree?
350.
350.
That's slang for 350. $3.50. That's how much pepperoni sticks are on Austin's on Wednesday night for college night. Those things are amazing too. 4 receivers out here to the right, 1 to the left. Warrington in the shotgun. Warrington gets the snap and takes off on the keeper across the 45 to the 44. Just a gain of a yard there. I think Hillsboro might pass the ball a little more here in this last 3 minutes of the ball game.
You would think. I was surprised that they ran that ball right there.
What do you think, Ethan?
I think they're going to have to. I keep saying that, and they've been in a passing situation the entire second half.
Well, it's going to be 2nd down and 9 yards to go for Hillsboro. They're in the pistol formation this time. Number 30, Lane Hester, the back. 3 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left. Back to pass is Warrington. Man, got him. Number 25 on the far sideline. Breaks 1 tackle and is spun down at the 32-yard line. Number 25, Latrell Haithcock on the reception. Nice little short little curl out there.
Yeah, good little play, and it's a nice pass. Good crisp pass out to his receiver. You don't have to pick up all the yards on one play. Just move it down the field and try to get a score within these last 2.5 minutes.
First down and 10 for the Indians. 3 receivers are going to line up to the right. 1 to the left in the pistol is Warrington. Warrington back to pass, looking, fires again, the same play. There's a flag down in the backfield. This one completed on the far side. He's brought down to the 25. It looks like this one's going to be coming back for holding.
That's a bit of a shame because it was a nice. That was a bit of a shame because it was a nice play by Warrington again. He actually looked off his man that time. He looked to the right side of the field, turned back left, squared up his shoulder, and delivered the ball.
After that big loss, it's going to be first down and long for Hillsboro. It's the first time we've heard the band play all second half over here on this sideline.
The bands have been having a bit of a war going back and forth between the Wilmington band and Hillsboro band over here.
Yep. 3 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left. Pistol formation for Warrington. Warrington back to pass, looking, fires across the middle. It's completed to number 12. He's got some space, and he's brought down at the 13-yard line. Number 12, Logan Leslie on the reception. Nice slant route there on the inside.
Yeah, that time they get right in the seam of the defense, and it's a nice pass. They got over the linebacker, Garrett Scott, on that play, and he had nobody in front of him except for a safety.
He almost, tipped that ball away. I'm surprised he didn't. And it's going to be 1st and 10 on the 11-yard line. Back to pass is Warrington. Looking on the far sideline. It is completed to number 25. Again, Latrell Haythcock. And Hillsboro's going to take a timeout. 47 seconds left. It's going to be 2nd down and 6 after the timeout. They might not shut him out tonight, Rick.
I think that what we're going to see here is a few passes to the end zone. I don't think there's going to be anything else run. I think they're going to attempt to get what they can. I guess you could say if you get a touchdown, then maybe there's a little bit of
it's a moral victory.
I guess you could say moral. But anyway, we've only got 47 seconds. Nothing will stop the clock unless it's obviously an incomplete pass or if they take a timeout.
I think if I was at Wilmington corner, you got to know they've run that play now 3 times. You got to know that they're going to do that little hitch route there and try to get in the end zone. And he needs to play up and not follow his man.
And the defender almost made a play that time. He almost jumped that route.
Well, once again, that was where we saw that interception. He
needs
earlier.
to jump it because it looks like they might run it again here in the pistol. 3 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left. Warrington in the pistol. Nope, this time he's going to roll out. He's rolling out to the right. He fires.
Got a guy.
It is completed to number 12, Logan Leslie, brought down by number 3, Brad Keller, and Hillsboro is going to use another timeout. And the ball will be placed at the 5-yard line after the timeout. It's going to be 3rd down and about 5 yards to go. They need to get it down to about the 1.5-yard line for a 1st down.
The one thing that Toby Warrington cannot do at this point is turn the ball over again. He doesn't need to feel like he needs to force it. You want to really score points on this drive, but again, you don't want to turn over to end the game.
You don't want a silly mistake, That's going to bring your morale down going into next week's game. And
you've got 1 timeout left, so they can stop the clock again, even if they complete without going into the end zone. But I would say right now at this point, their best bet is to go into the end zone rather than trying to pass out to the flat and try to run it in.
Maybe you try to do a rollout with your quarterback and take off. I mean, if nothing's open, that's your best bet right now. Well, here we go again. 1 receiver out to the left, 3 to the right. Pistol formation for Warrington. Number 30 is behind him, Lane Hester. Warrington takes the snap. There's that little curl route again, but he's under pressure. Fires! Incomplete. Great defensive play by the Hurricane. And it is now 4th down. And remember, the clock still is running. Hillsboro can stop it. Number 25 was the intended receiver, Latrell Haythcock.
Here they go.
And Hillsboro's going to use their final timeout to try to get on the board on 4th and 4 yards to go.
So obviously this is in the end zone. There's no other thing they're going to be able to do.
This is either your shutout or your touchdown for the morale booster here at the end.
Right. We'll see if it's a West Carrollton here.
Before the snap, I was wondering if they were going to go to Haythcock because he had single man-on-man coverage on the far left side of the field. As opposed to the right side of the field, they lined up with trips right, and that drawed a lot of defenders over to that side of the field.
Well, 18 seconds left in this ball game until Wilmington will go to 4-0 on the year, still undefeated, going into next week's game against East Clinton at East Clinton. We will talk more about that here in just a few minutes in our post-game show, but right now, Hillsboro trying to avoid the shutout. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Warrington in the pistol. Hester the back to pass, under pressure, rolling to the right, fires! And it's too far, incomplete. The Wilmington defense holds on 4th down and is going to come away with the shutout, guys.
And Washington Courthouse is leading East Clinton now 15-6. East Clinton missed the PAT, and so that is the current score with time running out in the 4th quarter.
East Clinton got on the board. It's one of the first times I've heard them get on the board. Last week they got on the board against Jamestown.
Yeah, I think they made a field goal. They might even have, I don't know if they scored a touchdown or not.
And ladies and gentlemen, the clock is going to hit triple zeros here at Richards Memorial Field. Our final score in this one, the Wilmington Hurricane 44 and the Hillsboro Indians 0. Coming up here in just a few moments after the band plays will be our post-game show here on WALHradio.com. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back here on WALHradio.com. My name is AJ Ganger, and I'm here with Ethan Rudd and Rick Phillips as we begin our post-game show here live from Richards Memorial Field in Hillsboro, Ohio. Well, guys, 44-0. Wilmington's defense finally put up a shutout this season, something they didn't do against West Carrollton. What do you guys take away from this first conference game from the Hurricanes?
The one thing that I take away is how well the defense played front to back. I'm not just talking the front seven, I'm talking the back four. The linebackers were really active, and they were able to give a lot of looks on defense, Wilmington was. They were able to put in quarterback spies. They dropped two men back deep. They showed Warrington a lot of things, and they got a couple turnovers off of it, including a pick six.
Well, and I think that I agree. I think that the game ball has to go to the defense this game, whereas last week maybe it was the offense. But Wilmington certainly showed us that, first of all, they're for real, and they've played their first conference matchup and won it, and so they're rolling.
Well, guys, 4 turnovers. Wilmington forced 4 turnovers last week, 3 turnovers this week. It seems like this defense for Wilmington, the Men in Black defense, like you nicknamed them, Ethan, all year the past, 2 games, they forced 7 turnovers. That's huge when it comes to turnover margin in the very end. What do you think that is keeping Wilmington from being that ball-hawking team on defense?
One of the things that I was really impressed with tonight was how well the Wilmington defensive backs were able to stick one-on-one, man-to-man with Hillsboro's wide receivers. That's one of the hardest things to do at any level. There's so many things that can go wrong when a ball is in the air and you're the only man left back. And they were able to bat balls down and make plays. I was really impressed with that. I was impressed with the pressure they were able to get in the quarterback, but especially tonight, the play of those DBs.
Yes, the defensive backs did play very good. Guys, for Hillsboro, this is kind of a disappointing, loss. They almost had a chance to score here late in the ball game to break the shutout. And Rick, how do you think a shutout fares in the morale of this Hillsboro team compared to maybe getting that 6 points on the board there at the end?
Well, it's definitely, I would say, disheartening at best. Obviously, you work hard, getting ready for a game like this, especially a conference matchup, and to get shut out on your own home field is, even twice the pain, I guess you could say.
Well, next week here, Hillsboro will take on Chillicothe here at home before going on the road to play Clinton Massey. Do you think that, even though Hillsboro's got a 2-2 record and an 0-1 record now in the SCOL, do you guys think that maybe Hillsboro will bounce back and possibly get a 6-4 season out of this year?
I don't think it's going to happen in the next 2 games.
No.
Chillicothe, I think they won tonight. At least they were leading the last score that we heard. And of course, that team Massey, the last score we heard was 60-0, so I'm sure it was probably in the 70s or 80s. I think that Hillsboro has a few things to work on, much the way Vandalia Butler did last week. Their defense was good. Their offense was a little sketchy, and I think that if you look at the Hillsboro team, obviously their defense was on the field, more than any their offense, obviously. And I think that, they were just worn down by that stellar black and blue Wilmington defense.
He nicknamed him Black and Blue last week because they were beating up on Vandalia's offensive line in the first quarter, and then it came out Vandalia was running the ball over them and making our defense black and blue.
Maybe they should be called the black and white defense because it's so clear that they're good.
See, I told you he's not just a pretty face.
Right. Well, guys, his first season of head coach here for Coach Kellen and the Wilmington Hurricanes. Last year, Wilmington was 3-7 at the end of the year. This year, they've already surpassed that win total of 3, and they're now 4-0. What do you guys take away from these first 4 games that we have seen here on WALH Radio? What do you guys take away from this 4-0 Wilmington team and the way that they're having success against these other teams they're playing so far?
3 of the 4 games have been fairly lopsided. Obviously, Butler, being a Division I team, gave them the real run for their money. But once again, they bent, they didn't break. They responded. They get down, they go back up. I think that, in the coming games, probably, the Miami Trace game, will be an interesting game. Obviously, the Massey game is going to be an interesting game. Other than that, I don't really see anything in the horizon that will stop Wilmington as long as they continue to play their defense and they run their offense the way they're doing tonight.
They've won games and they've scored a lot of points. I was there for the West Carrollton game with you guys, and there were no glaring holes in that defense or offense. The one question that I had after that game was how they would respond to a higher level of competition, and they went to Butler, an away game on a hostile field, and they won a game against a much higher level of competition.
Well, guys, Rome wasn't built in a day, but this team is already 4-0. They're looking like they might run away to maybe an undefeated season. They've got a couple roadblocks, like you said. Miami Trace is going to be a little bit of a roadblock, and Clinton Massey is going to be a little bit of a roadblock when it comes time to it. But this team is still, they can still finish the year out 9-1, 10-0. And if they do, happy day. We're going to be in the playoffs as Hurricane fans,
Well, I don't think that Wilmington will catch Massey by surprise. Massey, last year we carried the Columbus DeSales game where they played Massey and beat them. And DeSales at the time was 1-2. And they pulled off the upset and beat Massey, or maybe it wasn't an upset as far as they were concerned. Massey went on to win its second straight state championship. So maybe that's what they needed. I don't know. But I would say that the way Wilmington is playing, and granted I've not seen the Massey team play, but knowing them from last year, and they've changed a lot, especially at running back and that, I would say that Wilmington can give any team in this league right now a run for their money.
And I mean, like we were talking about earlier in the show, guys, this might be just a 2-team race when it comes down to it with Wilmington and Clinton Massey. But do you, Ethan, see this maybe becoming maybe a 3-team race when it comes with Miami Trace, or maybe even a 4-team race when it comes to Chillicothe?
It could. I think it's a pretty competitive conference, and we've seen a big turnaround in Wilmington. Who expected Wilmington to be undefeated at this point in the season after only winning 3 games last year? And they've shown up, and they've proved that they're a very disciplined, sound team.
And Wilmington, I mean, they're not only disciplined and sound, but they are a very mature football team. They only have a couple freshmen and, a few sophomores, and everyone else, they're juniors and seniors. So they've been around the bend, so to speak, here recently. But, I mean, Wilmington, they look very mature when it comes to offense and defense. They're very disciplined. You have to be disciplined to play the type of offense, up-tempo style that they do play.
And I think discipline is the perfect word for both the offense and the defense. We see them, they got their coverages, they're running their plays, they're doing everything and very few mistakes. And obviously they're forcing a few mistakes, and that's obviously going to help any team.
Well, gentlemen, final thoughts, final verdict for you guys on this game this evening before we take them home. You got anything for me, Ethan?
The defense played awesome front to back. The defensive line got great initial pressure each snap. The safeties played great, whether they were playing man-on-man coverage or dropping back deep. And the cornerbacks did a really good job, too.
Rick?
Same thoughts I had last week. Go Canes.
Yep. Well, let's give out our player of the games real quick here before we sign off and give thanks to everybody else. My player of the games on offense has got to be Dylan Bogart. On defense, it's got to be Dylan Bogart. And then when it comes to the honorable mention, obviously for Hillsboro, it's got to be Ryan LeMaster. I mean, we saw this kid on, playing every position it seemed like in this ball game. And we got a little shook up there at the end, but he made some key passes there. Granted, Hillsboro couldn't get on the board, but those are my players for tonight's player.
I want to give a shout out to the hustle players on Wilmington. You guys know who you are. You're stealing blocks. You're the pulling guard. You're making plays that don't show up on the stat sheet, but you are a critical part to this team.
And I would agree. I think that there are a lot of players out there that maybe don't get the notoriety. They certainly don't get the mention here in the booth all the time. But I would agree with you, AJ. I think that the players that you mentioned there were obviously the stars of the game.
Yep, especially Dylan Bogart. Did I mention him already?
You mentioned him, and I think that he has a proud father there at Bogart's barbecue.
Good. Well, guys, I'm going to take us home here this evening from Richards Memorial Field. We'd like to give thanks again to our sponsors this evening, Bill Moraine, Ford, Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep. We'd also like to give thanks to Wilmington Savings Bank, to Bogart's Barbecue, and to the Hillsboro hospitality staff here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to check us out live on Tuesday from Generations Pizzeria in Wilmington, Ohio for the Hurricane Sports Show. We got the Astros Sports Show on Wednesday and in Sabina and we at Charlie's Place, and we also have the Wilmington College Sports Show on Thursday, live from Austin's Casual Eatery in Wilmington, Ohio. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we were live here tonight on WALH Radio. Next Friday night, we'll be coming to you live from East Clinton, and then next Saturday night, we'll be coming to you live from Williams Field for some Wilmington College Fighting Quaker football. That's going to be great, isn't it, Ethan?
It's a really good atmosphere. It's a really cool deal that the college and the high school has together to play on Williams Field.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, from WALH Radio, my name is AJ Ganger. I got Rick Phillips here with me and Ethan Rudd. We're saying good night and enjoy the rest of your weekend.